Time now for the week's winners and losers.
All right, Kathy, we'll start with you.
All right, I'm going to have a winner this week, and that's Athens band REM. Just reissued their Radio Free Europe album. That was a huge success, and they're donating all of the proceeds from those sales to support Radio Free Europe because the Trump administration has cut that vital funding. My other winner this week are the Fulton County Board of Commissioners, who turned down the Republican nominations for the Fulton County Board of Elections. Julie Adams and Jason Frazier. It was the right thing to do, and hopefully folks will send somebody who's a little less partisan over for their nomination.
Phil.
Less partisan. My losers are the Democrat-dominated Fulton County Commission, 5-2 vote, kicking off 2 Republicans. You're supposed to have 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and a so-called nonpartisan chairman, which is often a joke. But anyhow, the Republican Party, specifically in the Ethics Code, is to be have 2 Republicans picked by the party. Well, they picked these 2 parties. You get Commissioner Mo Ivory, a Democrat, says, we don't want them because they're for President Trump. Well, that's stupid. Republicans basically are for President Trump. So you want the Democrat Party picking Republicans? That's crazy.
All right, I'm going to go on a lighter note. My son, Tyson Johnson, graduated from pre-K this year. You know, shout out to Atlanta Speech School. There's my big guy. Thanks to all the teachers, people there, all the parents, congratulations. So I'm so proud of him, proud of that moment for me. And also I want to give a shout out to Camarion Brown. He was the first jail resident to earn a GED through the new partnership program between the Athens Clarke County, Georgia Sheriff's Office, and Athens Technical College. And then lastly, shout out to Sally and Tim. Met them at the Capitol Grill. They live in Dunwoody. Big fans of the show. You all are my winners.
Nice.
I've been negative the last few weeks, so I'm going to be positive today. My winner is the North Georgia Land Trust, which is a new organization that's going to be saving property all over North Georgia. I'm excited about that. I want to remember those who gave all on this Memorial Day weekend. Think about also their friends and family, because they're going to be hurting this weekend too. And Justin Giboney, one of my favorite people, has this great a great podcast about politics in the church, so you should follow that too.
Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. And of course, we remember our fallen heroes on this Memorial Day weekend. Make it a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Well, welcome in. I'm Ariel Onstad. Thanks so much for streaming with us on your Sunday morning. We know that Metro Atlanta pastor Jamal Bryant is not letting up on Target. And to break the situation down, we want to bring in our Lindsay Tuman. Now, Lindsay, I know that you've been covering this story. What action are they hoping to take today?
Good morning to you, Ariel. Well, Jamal Bryant is the pastor at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in DeKalb County, a mega church in the area. And he is calling on churches and folks from all over the country to take part in this moment of prayer, a silent protest being held outside of, in part, this Target here in Conyers, as well as others across the country, as a way to stand for justice. Now, today is the 5th anniversary of the death of George Floyd, and that's why they're having this moment of prayer today as a way to continue taking that stand for justice, according to Pastor Bryant. Now, Pastor Bryant is calling on folks to participate in this prayer-filled protest as a way both to remember Floyd's life and also in continuation of that pursuit of justice. So back in March, Bryant called for a boycott of Target stores over the business's decision to scale back its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Now, since then, Target sales have taken a hit. The CEO made a statement to Business Insider saying there are many other factors also playing into those drop in sales, including potential tariffs. And a spokesperson for the company also said Target is dedicated to fostering inclusivity to everyone. But Pastor Bryant says Target isn't doing enough.
I don't want you to go inside. This is a spiritual act of uprising, of prayer for 9 minutes and 40 seconds. The revolution will happen through prayer, and I believe that it's going to change America one church at a time.
Now, that protest is set to happen later this afternoon, and on the pastor's Instagram, he says 50 other churches across the country also have vowed to take part in locations as well throughout the nation. And this fast of Target that he's been doing has already been going on for 15 weeks, so they are going to continue that mission as well. Reporting live in Conyers, I'm Lindsay Tuman. Back to you, Ariel.
Lindsay, thank you so much for giving us the update. We'll check in with you again this morning. We're bringing it back here, guys. I do want to keep you updated on events happening on our Sunday before Memorial Day. As we go through this long weekend, there is no shortage of things to do here in Atlanta. And one of these events is a little unique, right? It involves coffee and dance and celebrating human connection together. For that, we want to bring in our Eli Jordan, who joins us from Ponce Highlands. Now, Eli has been out catching up, and Eli, I want you to give it away for me. You tell me what's happening. It's quiet right now, but I know it's about to get loud there.
Oh yeah, hey Ariel, good morning, and yeah, they're getting ready for like a big dance party. They're expecting about 250 people down here for sober dancing. The DJs are here, we got some drummers here, and we're down here at the supermarket in Ponce Highland on Highland Avenue. And this is a really cool spot here. And I'm here with Stan Zephyr. He is part of the Daybreakers crew.
Top part of the Daybreaker crew for Atlanta, that's right.
And tell me, what is the Daybreakers crew?
Daybreaker is a morning dance event that's been going on for like 9 years plus. And what we do is we come out in the mornings and we have people to come out and do some breath work. Sometimes we do yoga. This morning we're giving away coffee and breakfast, light breakfast, and then after that is a full-on dance party.
So it's a dance party and no, alcoholic beverages, correct?
No alcoholic beverages, just people just getting on a natural high.
And so tell me, why the push for this? A lot of people, lose their inhibitions with a couple of drinks, and that's, it gives them the, urge to dance.
Right.
This is a little bit different dynamic going on, isn't it?
Yeah, because this is more natural. This is really for people to just come out and start their day off being energized with music and around like-minded people so that they can really just come out and dance and have a great time. And this is all part of the Be Happy and Nice tour of Daybreaker, because there's so much craziness going on in the world, as we know. So it's a chance for people to just come out and just relax.
And drinking people are drinking less these days.
Yes.
And I find a lot, if you're not drinking, your friends are, would go out and party, they kind of don't call you up anymore. And is this kind of like an outlet for, where those, people that, don't drink find solace and want to go out and boogie and social?
Yeah. This is just an alternative outlet for people who don't want to go to the club late at night, have a few hours sleep. They've got to get up in the morning. They're all groggy, they're hangover. They get to the club and there's a big bouncer giving them hassle getting in. There's none of that with this.
And it's expensive too to go to the club these days.
And it's expensive, right? Exactly. So people can just come here and just have a really good dance and be relaxed.
Cool. Well, it starts at 10, right?
It starts at 10 o'clock. We're just setting up now. We're having live musicians, so we're going to have horns, drummers. We're going to have a breath work to start off with, so people can really get acclimated to the space and get acclimated to the day as well. Just relax, and the day starts, and then we're going to, as I said, have a full-on dance party.
Well, it should be cool. Ariel, 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., people will start showing up. They're expecting 250 people. Starting off with some breath work.
It's going to be a packed house.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be cool, Ariel. And it's going to be coffee. No martinis, no cosmopolitans, no beers, no shots. It's going to be, well, maybe some espresso shots. We'll see. But coffee's good for me. It's just the inhibitions. I think I would still have my inhibitions to dance. It's hard enough to get me to dance anytime.
Eli, maybe.
We'll get you dancing, don't worry.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see Eli dancing.
Okay, yeah, we'll see about that.
Eli, I love you giving us a tour of this space. I cannot believe 250 people are going to fit in there in just under an hour or so. Looking forward to seeing it. We'll check back in with you. I know it's probably going to be loud when we come back. So enjoy the piece now while it lasts.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Eli.
You know
Okay,
it.
guys. Well, we're going to bring it back here to meteorologist Alex Forbes, who is going to give us the scoop on the weather today. And a lot of you are probably wondering, as I'm sure I am, is it going to rain? Is it going to cancel my plans on this Sunday before Memorial Day? What does that look like?
So it had some heavy rain this morning across
Yeah.
parts of the area. I woke up to it at about 2:30 this morning, even some rumbles of thunder, and that's largely moved off towards the Augusta area. But as we work our way through the day today, we are going to be looking at more of that building in towards Metro Atlanta and North Georgia. All right, so 66 is where we stand right now in Atlanta, and 64 in Canton. You see some of those storms back off towards the east this morning, mainly south of the Augusta area. That's what rolled through earlier. 64 in Noonan, 66 in Rome. Here's your pool forecast for the day ahead. Temperatures are going to be warming to the 70s here before too long, and then low 80s later on today with about a 20% chance of rain during the late afternoon and evening hours. I think the rain chances will go up as we work our way towards the nighttime hours, 10 o'clock tonight at about 40%. But that's going to be nighttime. Daytime, it's going to be a warm one. 82 in Atlanta, 83 over in Covington, 85 in Eatonton, 80 in Athens, 84 in Rome, and 83 in Carrollton. Today's rain chance at 40%. I think if you're looking for outdoor plans, it's going to be a drier day than tomorrow is going to be for Memorial Day. 60% chance of rain there. And then it doesn't stop there. We get up to 70% by the time we get to Tuesday. And that's going to be one of those wedge type setup days. Cloudy, cool, breezy, drizzly, just kind of bleh outside. And then we round out the week with a 40% chance of rain. But to answer your question, should I go canceling my plans? I think the answer is no. I have plans to go to the Braves game. See you out there. Not changing it.
Yeah.
That's that.
Okay. All right. So you just make it, pack your rain slicker and call it a day.
Yes. And, it's interesting to note that, we had somebody on Good Day this morning say, don't forget your umbrella. Well, this is the time of year now where you're getting thunderstorms.
Sure.
I'm not an expert physicist, but I don't recommend holding a big metal stick up in the air when it's thundering outside.
That's
so
fair.
That will be around today. So definitely a rain jacket type of day versus an umbrella day.
One thing I'm thinking about, too, as we go into the months ahead, and this is me thinking out loud and picking your brain as a meteorologist, right? And maybe you guys who are streaming along with us, YouTube, Fast Channel, or right here on Fox Local, maybe you're thinking the same thing. So as I've gone through the month of May, I feel like every single weekend in May has been rainy thus far, with the exception maybe of like last weekend, we caught a bit of a break.
Yep.
But I've noticed when May is very rainy like this, June is just unbearably hot.
Yeah, I think
Is that a thing?
People's perception of June is always extremely hot based on where we're coming from, right?
That's fair.
I think we actually have seen a cooler May rather
I do agree with that.
than a rainier one.
Yeah.
And because we've seen a cooler May, June is going to seem rather warm to us. But look, I mean, everybody has their own perspective on it, right?
Yeah.
Growing up here in Georgia, like June to me is a breeze. It's July and August that I'm like, all right, we can hold off on that for a little bit.
You're like, I can stomach June.
Right.
Okay, well, give us some of that fortitude, Alex, and we'll be well on our way.
Sounds good.
Thank you guys so much for streaming with us. It is time to get to some other news of the day. We're going to check back in with Alex again throughout the morning. So one story I do want to let you know about, a Dalton police officer who mistakenly arrested a college student has now resigned from the force. And as we go through this story and take a look at the situation, we know that Leslie O'Neill, that Dalton police officer, pulled over 19-year-old Jimena Cristobal for a traffic violation. Later, it was revealed he pulled over the wrong car. Police dropped the charges after reviewing the footage and determining she was mistakenly identified. But that wasn't before federal officials discovered she's not in the U.S. legally. She was granted bond, but Cristobal could still be deported. She's now working with her lawyer to obtain legal status. Her case has reignited the debate over how the U.S. should handle immigration cases involving individuals who were brought to this country illegally as children. Cristobal was around 4 years old when she came to the United States. Also happening today, I want to let you know about an event that could help you save your child's life. The Georgia chapter of Noble is going to provide national child ID kits to families in honor of National Missing Child Day. So this is actually a Day happening today to bring awareness. And these kits allow parents to fingerprint their children and collect DNA samples, offering key information to authorities on the spot. As you might imagine, this makes it a lot easier for police and authorities to identify and help find your child if they were to go missing. This event, if you're interested, is happening from 2 to 5 this afternoon at the Chattahoochee Food Works. We'll continue to keep you updated on this. But a big update in the driverless rides sphere. Uber and Waymo are not the only ones planning to launch driverless cars here in Atlanta. So we know that a new company, Zoox, is reportedly the next autonomous vehicle company to move into the Atlanta market. Now, according to Zoox, they have designed their cars with the rider in mind through and through, from the shape of the vehicle to the temperatures to the music. If you look at this, it kind of reminds me of some of those. You're looking at a Waymo vehicle now, but just a bit ago, we did see those Zoox vehicle. And they look kind of like little robots, kind of like what might carry food on a college campus. We know that Zoox is going to begin its Atlanta launch this summer with just a small test fleet. So we'll continue to keep you updated as they roll that out to let you know how that is going. But speaking of driving on the road, so I do want to let you know about the busiest times to drive today if you're headed out this Memorial Day Sunday and you're headed out, you want to know what to expect. So according to AAA, you might imagine today is a busy travel day. The streets are going to be crowded, but the worst times to drive are between 1 and 5 this afternoon. So if you're streaming along with us and you're listening, you're in luck because you can get out on the road quick, just pack the car, get going, miss the traffic that's supposed to start at 1 this afternoon. For Memorial Day, you're also going to see the most cars on the road around 4 p.m. So that is when things peak. So just keep that in mind if you are headed out. We'll continue to keep you updated on traffic situations throughout the day on our website. But again, just keep that in mind. If there are any major crashes or issues, you will see those updates. Okay, another event happening this weekend. Big deal, guys. MomoCon. So if you're in the anime space, you know about this. I want to tell you about some of the themes this weekend. This weekend's event marks the 20th year of MomoCon. You're looking at some of the cool costumes and stands from day one. How to Train Your Dragon there. This year's theme is 90s retro, and it features tons of cosplay, animation, video games, and more. And in case you didn't know why it is called MomoCon or where this comes from, Momo means peach in Japanese, and Georgia is the peach state. So as a result, that is where MomoCon gets its name. Looks like a lot of fun if you haven't checked it out before. There's a lot of things to do, and you can go enjoy that. Looking ahead as well, tomorrow, Kroger is going to offer military members discounts. It's going to apply to all active and former military members. It's going to be a 10% discount on in-store purchases. So if you are stocking up maybe on some food for a gathering, you can do that. Maybe you're grocery shopping for the week. You do need to bring your military ID and your Kroger card to be eligible for this. But the grocery store is going to be open on Memorial Day for those who need to do some shopping. So again, keep that discount in mind if you are needing to save a little bit of money. Another thing happening, I want to keep you up to date on all of the Memorial Day events happening tomorrow. We do have a full list of everything happening on our website, fox5atlanta.com, so you can get the update on Memorial Day events happening near you. But right now you're taking a look at a special event honoring the men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice to defend our nation. This is in Decula. People are going to line the street for the annual Memorial Day parade. Tomorrow here in Atlanta, people across Metro Atlanta are also going to pause to honor the lives of our fallen service members. But if you live in Decula, the parade here steps off of Hebron Baptist Church on Hebron Baptist Church on Hebron Church Road at 10 a.m. This year's Grand Marshal is James Davis, a 102-year-old World War II Army veteran. Absolutely incredible. So the video again that you're seeing is from 2023. But you can go tomorrow and enjoy this event, and we'll continue to keep you updated on other things happening tomorrow. But keep in mind, we do have a full list on our website. I also want to let you guys know about a pretty wild story. You're taking a look at video of an arrest A nanny's confession has broken open a cold case. And so let's get into it. The GBI says a former nanny helped them solve the 20-year cold case death of a woman at her family's business. The victim's husband is facing murder charges now. You're again seeing photos of the arrest of John Worrell at his home in Missouri. They say he plotted Doris Worrell's murder at John's Sports Park in Coffee County in September of 2006. Their former nanny, Paola Yarbury, was in a relationship with John after the murder. When they broke up, they say Yarbury gave them key information leading to John's arrest. Well, guys, it is time to go ahead and take a quick 2-minute break. Thanks so much for streaming along with us. When we come back, we are checking in with a sailor from here in Atlanta about his excursion in New York City for Fleet Week. Fleet Week brings together our service members in the Navy to celebrate their ships, getting together with the public, education, a lot of hands-on opportunities. And a young man from here in Atlanta went to New York. He's a part of Fleet Week, and he shares his experience and what that's been like for him. We're going to talk to him in the next 2 minutes.
Welcome back. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We have a real treat because we have a sailor from here in Atlanta out in New York City celebrating Fleet Week. We want to check in with Petty Officer Tajay Walters. How are you?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing great. Petty Officer, I know you're on the ship, and I know that our service may go in and out. So as long as you can hear me, we're going to rock and roll through this. So tell me, where in Atlanta are you from?
Okay. So I'm from Marietta. It's like Cobb County.
Yeah. How long have you been with the Navy?
I've been in the Navy for almost 5 years now.
So is this your first Fleet Week?
No, it's my second one.
Tell me a little bit about it. What have you been doing so far?
So in like New York, we absolutely love it here. Like all the Sailors and Marines, we come here every year and we fall in love with the city. The city shows so much love and appreciated to us, so we just love it here. You know, it's a great time out here.
Yeah, I can imagine you're meeting probably a lot of new people, both from different branches of the military and the public. What have you, between your first Fleet Week to now, what has changed? What have you been trying that's new or different?
So this is my second one. So I would say it's more people coming to see the ship. There's more tours going on earlier. So earlier today I was doing some tours, and it's it's great because we can actually show civilians like what we do inside the ship, and they love it, and we love it. So it's been improved, and every fleet I've been to it's been great.
I'm enjoying the view behind you of this vessel that you're on. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yes, it's an amphibious ship. Our mission is let show. What we do is we go out, and it's actually pretty cool because we can hold another ship inside of the ship, which we use to send the Marines to shore. So yeah, we're a dock landing ship for the Marines.
Is there a little bit of a friendly rivalry with the Marines?
Oh, no. Maybe when we're working out in the gym, but besides that, no. We love each other.
So you're giving tours, students come through. What has kind of been the feedback you've gotten from people who've been able to tour something like this?
They've been so happy and grateful that should come aboard the workshop and see like what's going on, see the different evolutions we go through daily to get on the way, see different weapon systems. Like they have absolutely loved it. Like we had, I think, 30 students came through like an hour ago. They loved it. We got people of all ages coming through, and they absolutely just love touring this ship.
TJ, I'm curious, what made you want to join the Navy?
So joining the Navy is my way of giving back. So me and my family, we migrated here when I was younger, and America has done a lot for us, and me serving is my way to give back.
Giving back seems like it's a big part of your nature and what you love to do. As you're going through Fleet Week,
Yes,
can you describe some of the festivities for people who aren't familiar? What does a schedule of events look like for a Fleet Week? How long are you there?
Typically we're here for about a week. We don't only have ship tours, but we have out in town for public, be a part of. We're also here to, improve on the communities out there. So you will see us out there in the streets, like doing different events. I know yesterday we had a Marine event where they demonstrated some weapon tactics. So like you will see sales Marines, even the Coast Guard in the streets doing different events, so it's a great time out here.
I love it.
But yeah, we're just getting back to the community, helping out with some community service. Yep.
It sounds like a lot of fun. And I know that you're on the ship, and so your internet is kind of haywire. So I appreciate you being able to do this with us. Is there anything else you want to share with us that I haven't asked you yet about Fleet Week that you'd want people to know?
Just down. We're here every year around this time of the year. So come on down, experience yourself.
I love it. Well, Petty Officer TJ Walters, thank you so much for giving us your time today. For giving us a little bit of a sneak peek behind you onto that ship. We appreciate your time. Hope you stay safe, and hope you have a great time for the rest of Fleet Week. So thanks for being with us.
Well, welcome back, you guys. You're taking a live look at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indiana. And I want to let you guys know about how you can watch the Indy 500 here on Fox Sports. So you're streaming along on Fox Local, but you can watch this on Fox 5 later today. So I want to let you know about this. It's the 109th Indianapolis 500. It is happening, the green flag set to wave, 12:45 p.m. Eastern time. So 12:45 this afternoon. The TV time would be about 10 a.m. Eastern, the race time, 12:45 p.m. So you can, again, watch this on Fox. And there's a lot of really cool things happening this year, like you're going to see a wiener car, which is one of the fan favorites that people have been seeing as part of the lead up to the big race, right? It's not going to be actually in the race, but part of which you can watch and enjoy. We're going to continue to keep you updated on what to expect throughout, but this is, again, on Fox. From 9 to 9:20 this morning, the cars are going to get in the pit lane, so that's actually happening about right now. About 10:30 a.m., the cars are going to get in the grid to the front stretch. 11:47, we're going to hear the driver instructions. 12:20 is when the national anthem is set to play. Then 12:38, there will be the command to start the engines. 12:45, the green flag waves, and you can watch the Indy 500. So again, the TV broadcast time for the 2025 Indy 500 starts at 10 a.m. So in just about 30 minutes, you can start watching this on Fox Sports if you're gearing up for this as part of your Sunday plans ahead of Memorial Day. We will continue to keep you updated, but for now, we're going to go ahead and just hang out on this shot and watch as people file in. We'll be waiting for Behind the Scenes with Paul Milliken to start at 9:30. Thanks for streaming with us, guys.
Welcome to the pit. Let's go save some lives.
There was a lot of great television over the past television season, but the most talked about show of the season, and my personal favorite, guys, I was obsessed with this show, and I know many of you were too, is The Pit, with a fantastic cast, including Noah Wyle and an actress that not only I love watching on screen, I love getting to know in person too, Catherine Lanasa, who is here, Charge Nurse Dana. It's so great to see you,
So
Catherine.
good to
How
be
are
here
you?
and talk to you again.
Congratulations on the show.
Thank you.
What has life been like since this show has not just been airing, but become a phenomenon? People love this show.
It's been really wonderful. In a weird way, it's kind of relaxing. You know,
Yeah.
It sounds strange. It's a little overwhelming, but it's also relaxing because you spend so much of your time as an actor trying to prove yourself.
Yeah.
So when people are like, oh my God, I love your work. It's so, you know, that we just love what you're doing. And you kind of go like, oh, okay. Like it's a minute where you can just kind of, oh, it's so nice. It's
Yeah.
really, I really feel the love. I
Yeah.
really feel the love.
Yeah, I love that. Last
Yeah.
time you and I saw each other, you were starring in Designing Women
Yes.
at Horizon Theater Company
Yes.
here in Atlanta.
Yes.
What are your ties to Atlanta?
Well, I'm a Southerner.
Yeah.
We came here originally because I was shooting Satisfaction here for USA, and Grant was shooting Devious Maids. So our daughter Eloise was actually born in Atlanta.
Wow.
And we kept coming back, and we would go back and forth from LA to Atlanta. And then finally, when Eloise was in kindergarten and Grant was on Dynasty, which shot like 10 months a year here, we just moved.
We're always working the shift, by the way. Cut him a little slack today. It's the anniversary of Dr. Adamson's death.
So let's talk a little bit about the show. How did this part come to you?
It just was a regular audition. I like to tell this story because I got it along with another Max show Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, I
and
love
my
that show,
agents
yeah.
are like, oh, you're going to get Righteous Gemstones. I played a part in a movie called The Campaign opposite Will Ferrell, where I was this just big Southern loudmouth. And so it was a similar kind of role.
Yeah.
And my agents were trying to get him to offer it to me. So I had these 2 auditions. And I remember thinking, I should be really right for this Righteous Gemstones thing, but I just feel okay about it. But The Pit, I was like, I don't know why, but I think they might want me. I don't know. There was something in it, like a little inkling, which actually happens sometimes. It happens quite often, actually, when I get the job.
Interesting.
Yeah, I kind of know. I knew I was going to get Katie Keene, this other show that I did. It's also on Max with Lucy Hale. I kind of had a feeling that that was going to be my job. And something about The Pit, I thought, I think if I got in front of them, I think they might want me. So it just was a tape, and then it was a Zoom, and then it was another tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much about the show did you know? I mean, did you know that every episode would be a consecutive hour in one long shift? Like, did you understand what the tone and sort of what the premise would be?
We got 3 episodes to read. I got 3 episodes to read before I auditioned. And then Noah wrote this thing to the actors. And I think this was part of what made me think I would be a good match for them, was that he wrote that they really wanted this top-to-toe immersion and, like, leave your ego and bring your imagination. And I've always been someone that was kind of, like, sort of looked like the leading lady but was a little weird and outside the box, you know? And so I thought, I think maybe I can just be myself.
Yeah.
And also this top-to-toe immersion thing is something I'm kind of obsessed with in my work. If you look at any of my work, I'm always 100% doing the thing in the background.
You're committed.
Yeah, I'm always 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never just standing around watching the other guy talk. I'm always, like, folding some papers or, like, I'm always busy.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I know what they're talking about. Like, I know how they want it. And it led us into how realistic they wanted it to be. And we talked a lot with John. John talked with us a lot. He's an amazing showrunner. I think he literally wrote a thesis on show running that they teach at AFI.
Wow.
So he's just, and he really let us know how they wanted it to be, not like a documentary where the subject is identified, but more like you're inside it.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew they wanted that level of naturalism. So it gave me kind of a tone to do the work.
And so that immersion thing, is that how you were trained as an actor, or is that like something that is self-taught that you learned over the years?
Well, honestly, moment-to-moment reality is like a Strasbourg theory, right? But it's, that acting is just, living truthfully, like moment to moment. It's sort of the basis of American theater and American acting in a way. But I was doing this job judging Amy years ago. I was recurring on judging Amy, and I played a lawyer. I played a DA, and I was always in the courtroom. And I had no direction. And so I had these papers, and I would think, well, what would a lawyer be doing now? And what would the DA be doing now? And how would she respond to that thing? I spent hours and hours and hours on that show, sitting at that. And I kind of taught myself on that show. I always say you learn something from every job. And that's what I learned on that job. I learned how to really create my own business while kind of off camera, while in the background on that show.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But that leads me perfectly to Dana, because from the first time that we meet her, I feel like this character is so lived in. I mean, this feels like a woman that I have seen in the hospital before, or that I have met in the hospital before. So where does that come from? I mean, were there any real reference points that you used in creating this character?
Yes, there was a woman named Kathy Garvin that is the charge nurse at County in LA, and she came to visit us on set, and so I got to talk to her a little bit, and then I was lucky enough to be able to shadow her a little bit, and that was just immensely helpful. I mean, that really brought, I think, the level of realism to the role.
Clear.
All compressions. Are we ready to call this?
You were nominated for a Gotham Award.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How does that feel?
Wow, it just blew me away. It just really blew me away. Especially when I look at who's in the category. They've done such wonderful work, and it's a male and female category, which is really cool. I've never been nominated for anything before. It chokes me up.
Yeah.
It's like really an honor. It's a true honor. I feel very complimented to be in this considered within this group of people.
Yeah, I remember when just to start to wrap it up, when I talked to John Wells about a year ago, and we were talking about, do you know a show is going to be a hit before it's out there in front of the public? And, do you know something is special? Do you know at the beginning if you have something? I mean, do you feel it in your bones that this is a special project?
Yeah, you do. You kind of have a sense of it, particularly once you start shooting.
Did you have a feeling before this started streaming on Max, like, I think people might...
No.
You didn't?
No, I think a lot of us were super nervous because we had loved it so much. We loved it so much that when they would show us the screeners, they would screen for us the little episodes before they aired. And if there was anything off or anything we thought it was too slow or it was too this or it was too that, we were so freaked out as if it was all so fragile. Yeah. And the show just kind of lit. It just took off like, on its own. It had its own life.
Yeah, is it strange to scroll through social media and like someone's like dissecting your character? Like people are like, I think Dana's not going to come back because of whatever. I mean, is that strange?
Oh, I don't have TikTok. I'm an older gal. Yeah. I kind of look mostly at my page.
Yeah.
And I look at, I try to see my friends through the ads, so I can support, but I don't look at it too much. I think I want to be able to stay focused on the role and not get too many opinions in my head, but it's very flattering, and it's real. I receive it all as love.
That's
and
great.
So it's been really, really nice.
Well, we end the season with things very up in the air with your character.
Yes.
She has had a real crisis of confidence she's been through. And I should ask you quickly, too, I mean, since that aired, you were telling a very real story of the way that healthcare workers can become targeted themselves because there's so much frustration within the system. Yeah. Have you heard from people who that storyline really resonated with?
Yeah, a lot of nurses have written me on social media. Yeah. And then those are the biggest compliments when nurses like my work or when nurses feel seen or feel represented. And so many people have told me in the medical industry that this show's very meaningful for them and they feel seen. And I think it's been cathartic for them.
Yeah, that's great. But again, so the show ends kind of up in the air. So we're not. There's going to be no spoilers, and I'm not going to ask you questions that I know you can't answer. But the show is coming back for a season 2. So just how exciting is it? Because you've been a part of so many shows that have had multiple seasons and some that looked like surefire hits and then just didn't go.
I know.
So to get the call that says yes, you're going for a second season, what does that feel like?
Oh, it's just been incredible.
Yeah.
I haven't been on anything that went. I haven't been full time on something more than 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I think, truth be told, I was on with 3 seasons, but I was only partially in the 3rd season. So, you hope just for longevity whenever you get a show, but to have a show that's terrific, that's so well received by people, and that has such talent is so good. It's just it's a dream. It's really a dream. It's not something I knew that was gonna come my way. So I receive it with a ton of gratitude.
Yeah. Well, it has been thrilling to watch you on this show. Absolutely thrilling. You are so terrific.
Thank you.
I cannot wait to see what you do next, whether on The Pit or one of the many other projects that I'm sure are in the works. But keep coming back to Atlanta to see us, please. Okay?
I will.
Great to see you.
My pleasure. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, since it opened on Broadway back in 2023, we have been waiting for Shucked the musical to come here to Atlanta, and it's finally happened. It's really poppin'.
Hey.
Get it? Okay, thank you for a sort of a reaction. Shucked is here at the Fox Theater with the national tour, and we've got two of the stars with us. Quinn Van Antwerp, it's great to see you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed. Mike Nappy, good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Okay, opening night just happened. Quinn, how was it to be here at the Fox Theater?
Oh, my gosh. We've been waiting to be in Atlanta.
Yeah.
We've had it circled on our calendars for a very long time. The Fox Theater is this historic, wonderful place that you always hear about as an actor. And to be in front of all those people and hear the roar of laughter is really like nothing else I've done.
I'm so happy to hear that. When you get to a venue like this with just so much history and the architecture so interesting, is it just fun for you guys to kind of explore and look around?
It's so much fun. Even we do a sound check when we get here, and you step out on the theater, and it was just like, oh my goodness, like in awe of how beautiful this place is. And then you see all the history, all the facts. And it's just so cool to be a part of this journey and be here where all these greats have played. And yeah, it's really fun.
We're here to tell you a fable. A farm to fable. Corn.
I'm talking corn. Okay, so let's talk about the musical, because you were in it when it opened on Broadway. There was a lot of buzz at the time of like, what is this thing? A musical about corn? Do you remember, like, what were the expectations for Shucked when it first came about?
Well, I remember like our first preview on Broadway, we're like, it's either going to be the like best show of the season or like we might just go out there and bomb. Like, and after that first preview, it just like it took off in New York City and we became kind of like the talk of the town. You had to go see this brand new musical. It's not based on a movie. It's not based on a book. It's very rare. And to be able to tour a show like that is even more rare. So it's been so excited to bring it to all of different parts of America.
And then to be in the show and it gets 9 Tony nominations. When those nominations came out, what was it like being part of that cast?
Oh my God, we were so excited. And I remember we had just performed on the Tonys when Alex Newell won. And there's a great video of us on the bus back to the theater, all watching someone's iPad. And then the bus just like erupted whenAlex won. So it's just a very exciting experience.
Well, since you just mentioned it, is performing at the Tonys the best thing ever or the most stressful thing or both?
I mean, it's like one of those things you dream about when you get into this business. It's always a really long day because you have a matinee and, you know.
Wait, you perform before you do it?
So you go in the morning.
Oh, that's not fair.
Wow. You go in the morning and you have like a full rehearsal on stage. They do a run through with an audience.
Wow.
That gets invited. Then you go do your matinee and then you wait and you get dressed at your theater. You bus up to the place, go on stage for like 7 minutes, and then you get back on the bus.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like a really like a hectic experience. It's like so well run, but it's, you know, it's one of those days that by the end you just collapse in your bed.
Whirlwind for sure. So Mike, when is the first time you became aware of this thing called Shucked?
Well, I saw it on Broadway in previews, and I remember being like, what is this musical about corn? Like, what is this? And what Quinn was saying, brand new musical, it's not based on anything, which I love, like that new work. And I saw it and I laughed so hard, and it's such a surprising show because it's very moving too. I was very moved, and I just, you know, the world is a crazy place right now, and I just remember thinking like, I needed that. It was so funny, and everyone in the audience went absolutely crazy, and it just like felt like this community. So that's how I sort of got introduced to it, and then got an audition for the tour, and here we are.
The rest is history. So that feeling of like, I needed that, now you're bringing that to people across the country at a time when we really do need just a lot of laughter and a lot of love. So how does that feel?
It's so special. I mean, and so many people have come up to us at the stage door and have said that like, hey, like, really needed this. I just needed to turn my brain off and laugh and cry and just enjoy this new musical. That's it, and it's so much fun. The music's so great. The book is awesome, and it's a real, you know, I'm very grateful to be able to be a part of this. So.
And your role, I mean, you get to have a little bit of fun on
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
Peanut, you know, Robert Horn wrote the book. There's a lot of crazy jokes, and it's really just it's a moving, it's a speeding train. It doesn't stop, pun after pun after pun, and it's really fun.
Yeah, I love that. Now, you are no stranger to being in shows for a long time. Talk about how many performances of Jersey Boys have you done?
I did over 3,000 performances.
Wild. Do the songs of the Four Seasons just run on loop in your head still?
You know, if I do hear the opening of Oh What a Night, I do get like a kind of like a cold sweat comes over me. But it's such great music. It's such a great show. And I mean, I met everybody in my life, my wife, all my friends in that show. So I'm very grateful for my...
That's amazing. Wait a minute. Your other half, your BFF right
I never met any Birds fans while I did that.
Well, we need to talk about that for a minute. Now,
Super Bowl champs.
Oh, that hurt. That was like a knife in my heart, Mike. You don't bring up the Super Bowl in Atlanta. We don't talk about Super Bowl around here because things have not always worked out well for us.
I won't. No comment.
Thank you for at least having some restraint in that. Now, am I right? Now, okay, we talked about on Good Day Atlanta, you love wings, right?
Yes.
It says in the article you're a trumpeter.
Yes, I'm a trumpet player.
And then also you're a composer, right?
Yeah. I've written 2 musicals, and it's been a crazy time. But
so when you're on the road, are you still working on those musicals? Do you have afternoons where you're still working on?
Yeah, actually, we just did I wrote this one musical 5 years ago that we've been developing, and we just did a workshop at a college. We're always trying to keep all the irons in the fire, but every once in a while, I'll try and keep writing, and whenever I have that time.
That's so great. Is that something you think you'll always do, writing?
Yeah, it's just it's something there's something about it, that creative process of just being in the room and writing and being around the piano and doing the things. Yeah,
that's amazing. So would you ever maybe write a musical about a handsome feature reporter in Atlanta? Am I giving you ideas?
Maybe if he was an Eagles fan, I would think about it. But
okay, well that musical's never going to happen, unfortunately. So it was a nice dream while it lasted. And you know what? If it did happen, the role of Paul Milliken would be played by Quinn and not me. And you know what? You'd get the role. And I mean, we do look so much alike. I feel shorter by the minute. Thank you for saying that, Mike. My new favorite. I don't even care about the Philly stuff. Shucked is here in Atlanta right now. Go see it. Well, good morning, everybody. It is beautiful. Look at this view behind me, the lake down there, and of course the trees. We're at Stone Mountain Park right now, getting a view like I've never gotten before, thanks to the brand new Lakeside Zip Line Adventure Course. Are we having the best morning? Yes. I have to say, I'm in good hands with this team right here who's been keeping me very calm, very cool, very collected, although we're still screaming pretty loudly when we're out on these zip lines. This is the final zip line of the course. It's almost 400 feet right across the water, and I am so excited to go. But before we do, Jahan, let's talk about the course. So explain how it works right now. So if we want to come and do this, do we book it online ahead of time? How does that work?
Yeah, best thing to do is book it online. That way you can book the reservation time that you want. And you can book, as many tickets as you want, probably up to 10 per time frame.
Okay.
And then you're going to do 10 obstacles, 7 zip lines, and 2 that go soaring over the water.
Yes. So you get, again, incredible views the entire way. How strenuous would you say this course is?
I mean, I think you need to have a little bit of ability to get through some of the challenges, but it's not bad.
No,
it's not bad,
and again, people really of almost all ages can do it. You can be as young as 10 years old. And then what is the weight limit restriction for this?
So you want to be between 45 pounds and 250 pounds.
Yeah, and I have to say a couple of things. Number one, you feel really safe when you're clipped in, because this is a system where once you're clipped, you're not going anywhere, right?
Absolutely not. You are clipped in with your little Pac-Man, and you are not going anywhere until you get to the end of the course.
Yeah, and we like that. I want to feel very cradled and protected the entire way. And also, I've done many zipline courses. I feel like the landings on this one are some of the most gentle I've ever experienced.
Absolutely. When you come in, you're going to hit the pad. It's going to help you. You're going to pull yourself up with your feet, and it's easy breezy.
Yeah, you really do. You sort of land in like a running position, and then you're just ready to go to the next obstacle or the next zip line. So again, this is the longest one behind us. Now, on the other side of the lake, you see over my shoulder, there's sort of the whole lakeside adventure facility over there with a lot of activities. So what else is available over there?
Yeah, so you can kayak, you can paddleboard. We have a pedal kayak. We have a hydro bike. And then we also have our lake tour, which is a pontoon boat. It'll take you around the lake. The captain will give you some stories and some tips while you're out here. It's about a 30-minute pontoon boat ride. But you can single kayak or tandem kayak if you have a friend that wants to come with you. It's just a great time out on the water. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, just a beautiful spot here. And you were saying before, a lot of people come to Stone Mountain Park so sort of fixated either on the mountain or other things, they don't even realize the lake is here as a resource.
Yes, absolutely. The lake is here. You can fish. You can bring your own boats out. Pretty much just have fun all day in nature, and it's very relaxing, very calming. It's a great place to be.
It really is, especially in the summer, because as we know, it gets a little warm here, so it's nice to be in the water. And summer, of course, is a super busy time at Stone Mountain Park. You guys have events and special things going on all summer long, right?
Correct, yes. We've got events. We've got Memorial Day weekend coming up. We've got the Fantastic Fourth for 7 nights, where if you want to see fireworks, this is a place you want to be. You can get out on the water. You can come see our attractions, take the sky ride up to the top of the mountain for 360-degree views, take the train around the base of the mountain. There's just tons of things to do.
Yeah, there's tons to do, but I highly recommend, I said earlier, 10 out of 10 for the zip line course. Do you guys agree?
Yes!
Okay, now wait, let me just ask everybody, like, what is your favorite element of the zip line course, Nicole?
I think the favorite element is going across that lake.
Yeah.
It's so exhilarating. It's so free.
Yeah.
And you get to scream.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You can make as much noise as you want. I agree. Going over the water is pretty thrilling. Nick, what about you? What do you enjoy the most?
I'm terrified of heights, so conquering my fears and just getting out here is my favorite part.
Yeah, this is probably actually a good way to face the fear of heights, because again, as you see right here, we are clipped in. We are not going anywhere. Now, I would like to hear just how loud somebody can get around here. We have a screamer. Just like, give me a good woohoo. Okay, give it to him. See, that's what you're supposed to do right there. That's what you're supposed to do. And you'll always be in good hands again, because you've got Cornelius and Nate back here, a wonderful staff of professionals who will get you across the lake, back over to the other side, and then you can relax and enjoy the rest of your day at Stone Mountain Park. So we're going to leave you for now and give you some of the sights and sounds here on the new Lakeside Zipline Adventure course. Legs are down. Here we go. Whoa! Woo-hoo!
Well, hello, guys. Welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray. There is a lot happening around the metro Atlanta area today. In fact, we sent Fox 5 Atlanta reporter Lindsay Tuman out to Conyers, where there is a huge protest expected to happen. You probably have heard about it by now. Through social media, New Birth Missionary Baptist Church, Pastor Jamal Bryant is renewing his call to protest Target, and we have Lindsay out there now. Lindsay, can you talk to us a little bit about what you're seeing and what's expected later on?
Yeah, Judea, this shouldn't start until later this afternoon. So right now everything is quiet. But yes, this involves Jamal Bryant from New Birth Missionary Baptist Church, and he's actually been part of the big reason that there's been this push to boycott Target over the last 15 weeks. He's been calling on folks to do that over Target's decision to scale back its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. And now he's calling for churches around the country to stand outside of Targets for 9 minutes and 40 seconds in honor of the anniversary of the death of George Floyd. He says that this silent protest happening today is part of their continued stand for justice. So back in March, that's when Bryant initially called on the boycott of Target stores over the business decision of rolling back those DEI programs. And since then, Target sales have taken a bit of a hit. The CEO made a statement to Business Insider saying there are many other factors also driving down Target sales, including potential tariffs. A spokesperson also said the company is dedicated to fostering inclusivity to everyone, but Pastor Bryant says more needs to be done.
On May 25th, the anniversary of that heinous crime, I'm asking churches around the country to go outside of a Target for 9 minutes and 40 seconds to exemplify what happened on that day and to model that we're not going backwards.
Yeah, and again, this is supposed to be a peaceful protest. He says these 9 minutes and 40 seconds are supposed to be spent in prayer. And he does say that he's heard from 50 other churches across the country who plan to participate as well in other locations. This is set to happen this afternoon. Of course, we'll keep you updated on that. But for now, that's the latest live out here in Conyers. I'm Lindsay Tuman. Back to you.
Hey, thank you so much for keeping up with that, Lindsay. And as you mentioned, things aren't going to kick off until noon. We'll probably have more available for you on Fox Local. Meanwhile, another event that's going on out in the Ponce Highland neighborhood of Atlanta is this big sober party. And we sent Eli Jordan out there to check it out. Eli, I know it's going to get pretty loud out there soon, but right now it's still a little calm. Can you talk to us about this event and what our audience can expect?
Hey, Judea, good morning. Yeah, I'm at the Sober Dance event. It's a coffee social. People are just now trickling in. It opened up at 10. But then later on, it's going to turn into a full-blown dance party. And no alcoholic drinks. You don't have to lose your inhibitions to dance out here. But I'm joined with Stan Zephyrin of the Daybreakers Club. Daybreaker, but I was just telling me, what is going on here? What are Daybreakers?
As you said, we're just getting started. Daybreaker is a morning dance party. As you said, no alcohol. We're just coming out. We're going to start the day off with some breath work and get into a full-blown dance party. So we're at the beautiful supermarket venue in Atlanta. People are just starting to arrive and getting some breakfast, coffee, and some fruit and stuff.
Here we got, this is a coffee social going on.
That's
like
right.
I said, the door's just opening. And over in here, what do we got over in here?
If you follow me through.
So
over here, we're just getting everyone mic'd up. We're getting ready for the breath work. Here's where we're going to have the dance party, right in here.
And you're expecting how many people?
About 250 people.
So it's going to be packed up in here.
Yeah, and the numbers are going up as we speak.
And you got live music, you got percussion.
We're going to have percussionists. We're going to have sound bowls. We're going to have trumpet players. You can see the horns.
Trombone player, yeah.
Trombones,
and
trumpets,
you're going to be DJing.
And I'm going to be DJing. I'm going to be creating the vibe so everyone can dance their life away here today. And all this is going to be full with people.
And it's a real nice lounge experience. I mean, setting here.
Yeah, over here, people can lounge, and when they get a bit too sweaty, they just want to chill out, they can sit down.
And the key to this, I mean, a lot of people, over the past few years, people have given up drinking far less. And
right.
Going out to the clubs has become very expensive with parking and just getting into the door. Tell me about this. Offers an alternative to all that.
This
correct?
is an alternative social connection dance party, so people can start their day off the right way, and more and more people are gravitating to things like this because you don't have to stay out late to have a good time. You can start your day off having a good time dancing, and you're energized for the rest of the day.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, you're not hung over after this event.
Exactly. Yes.
So the doors just now opened up. They're starting off with a coffee social. People can meet each other, do some breathing exercises. The next thing you know, they're going to be cutting a rug, doing the Watusi, doing the Boogaloo out here. It's Sunday morning at the Sober Dance. Judea, back to you.
If you still have him, don't let him go too far. I was wondering, this event isn't just happening here in Atlanta. They have these all over. I saw Miami, another big city. Can you ask him why it was important to bring it to Atlanta?
So, Daybreakers, they do this all over the country, right?
All over the country, that's right.
So why are you guys here? Why Atlanta?
Why Atlanta? Because Atlanta is such a major city. It's a great vibe here in Atlanta. They hit all the major cities in the US. So why not Atlanta? Atlanta's got so much to offer. There's so many transplants here of people from all over the world, really. So we're getting all these people together to join this, become this one community of dance and being free, and just being happy.
Awesome. So this is going on all over the country. And but this morning, we're here in Atlanta at the supermarket in the Ponce Holland area. We're going to have about 250 people showing up.
250
having a good Sunday morning. Sunday morning coming down. So it'll be good. People are just going to, people are starting to come through the door now. So they're going to have their social, coffee social, and then we're going to have a party with some music and some good jams, looks like.
Eli, I just wanted to say, I love the concept of this event because, not everybody wants to drink or to partake in different things just to have fun. I know a lot of people who are tired of the club scene. They don't want to smoke hookah, they don't want to drink. And so this is really cool. And the fact that it's happening right in the morning to get you started on this Memorial Day weekend, any other events or plans that you may have sounds pretty cool. So
and I've heard people talking just over the past few weeks that going to a club nowadays can take a hit. You're paying $50 for parking. You're paying $30, $40 to get in the club.
Drinks,
you're paying $20 a drink. And next thing you know, you're out several $100. But here
and
you
all
don't have to pay
do
for
have fun.
the drinks, and you got to pay for a little bit of parking. But it's not like going to the nightclubs where they're just real steep and expensive and dress codes and you gotta tip the doorman and all that stuff. This is a little bit more relaxed. This is kind of like the way it should be.
As Eli mentioned in the beginning, that this event kicked off at 10, so just a couple of minutes ago. But I have a feeling that when we come back in the 11 and maybe even the noon hour, if we see him then, it's going to be a lot busier. Well, that's not the only event that's happening out here in the Metro Atlanta area today. There's a lot more going on. And I know a lot of people have been waiting with bated breath, like what is going to happen with the weather, especially those of us who are trying to go outside today. So I want to pop us over to Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Alex Forbes with the latest in our forecast. Alex, please tell me the rain isn't going to stay too long.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. We're getting into that summertime pattern, right? So if you do see rain, it's probably not going to last too long. The question is, who is going to see rain through the day today? And I think the answer is about probably half, if not a little more than us. Looking live from downtown up towards Midtown in Atlanta right now, we've made our way to 67, officially measuring overcast skies at the airport. We saw some rain through the overnight hours. That's moved off towards the east, but not before being just short of 1/4 of an inch officially at the airport. Still some showers down towards Putnam County, south of Athens, but all of that is shifting over towards the Augusta area, already to 71 now in LaGrange. Now, through the afternoon and into the evening tonight, I think it is going to be a pretty nice day, only a 20% chance of rain through the mid to late afternoon hours. But once we work our way towards the sunset hour, that's when our temperatures will begin to fall back down into the 70s, but our rain chances will be going up. So if you're trying to maybe head out to the pool after dinner, I think you're going to have some issues in doing that as opposed to, say, 2 o'clock in the afternoon today. Regardless, I wouldn't go canceling any plans over this. It's just something I would keep an eye on through the day ahead. 80 in Canton today, 77 over in Gainesville, 80 in Athens, 84 in Eatonton, 85 in LaGrange, hanging on to 76 in Blairsville and 77 over in Gainesville. The rain chance today at about 40%. And that, again, is going to be on the back half of the day at its highest. And then for tomorrow, for Memorial Day itself, I'm looking at about a 60% chance of rain before all is said and done here across the area. So let's take a look at it hour by hour on our forecast model now. This is the noon hour where we are now. You see some of that activity firing up 4 or 5 o'clock in western Georgia and then moves towards the east-southeast. By 11 o'clock tonight, we could still see some pockets of heavy rain. For tomorrow, I think we wake up dry, but it doesn't take long to get the shower and storm activity started, particularly into the early evening hours. Wouldn't at all be surprised to see some of our activity coalesce into a line in parts of western Georgia after sunset tomorrow. As for today, we do have a level 1 risk for some stronger storms. That's going to be a damaging wind risk up to about 60 miles an hour and some quarter-sized hail. I think 99% of what we see is going to be below this criteria, but it's still going to be a possibility nonetheless. Then for tomorrow, that's basically along and south of Interstate 20 across north and central Georgia. So a 60% chance of storms tomorrow, 70%. Tuesday is going to be a little different, though, where we're at 70%. I think that's going to be more of the wedge type setup, which means we're going to be looking at cloudy skies, cooler weather, probably breezy as well. Then by the time we get towards Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Judea, temperatures are going to be in the low 80s with a 40% chance of storms.
Alex, thank you so much for giving us the latest on the forecast. We will pop back in with you soon, so don't go too far. For those of you who are streaming with us, thank you so much. We're going to get you a 2-minute break, and then we'll come back with even more things happening around the metro Atlanta area. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray, and we have, like I said, a lot of events happening around the metro Atlanta area. Thanks for coming back to stream with us. Actually, one of, I think, the best events, and our Fox 5 reporter, Caitlin Pratt, probably has the best, my apologies. Our Fox 5 Atlanta reporter, Caitlin Pratt, probably has the best assignment of the day. She's out at Piedmont Park for the Atlanta Jazz Festival. Caitlin, what do you see going on behind you? It looks like there's some tents. I see some people moving back there.
Hey, yes. Good morning to you, Judea. Okay, so everything kicks off at 1 o'clock this afternoon. If you've been to Piedmont Park before, I'm going to set the stage for you. You can see where I'm standing here up on the hill, looking down below. You can see below here, that is where people are going to be putting all their lawn chairs, umbrellas, things like that. So if you've staked out a spot here up on the hill, where you have a bird's eye view of not just the field, the crowd, the stage, then you're in luck. You're doing good. And you know when you just happen upon a good vibe? This is exactly what's happening here. Yes. Tell me your name. Tell me your story. We were talking earlier, and you've been coming here for years.
I've been coming here for years, at least 20 plus.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So how did this start, this tradition?
Just family and friends. This is a day that we all get together and come out and enjoy Memorial Day.
Who are you looking forward to hearing from on the stage, particularly today or tomorrow, would you have to say?
We were just talking about that. Kenny Banks.
Oh, he's from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yes. He's kicking things off at 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that's going to be really fun. And you guys are already setting the stage with your music going. What is it about jazz? Yeah, I saw you with the journal earlier. What is it about jazz that it speaks to so many people, would you say?
I would say it's the vibe.
The vibe?
Yeah. And the vibe of jazz always kind of brings a certain kind of enlightenment, a certain kind of like just coolness, and you don't have to worry about, the vibes are always good. It's family oriented. It's like everything's gonna be cool. You just know it's gonna be cool. That's what jazz does. It's like everything's gonna be cool, baby.
I told you, Judea, this is a good vibe tent right here. Gentlemen, thank you so much for talking with us, for sure. And I want to give you another look at the actual setup here. You can see people have already started setting up their tents, whole rows of them down here. That's the section and beyond you're allowed to put tents up. Of course, because of the chance of rain, people are coming prepared too with some rain gear. We have a lot of tarps there on the ground. And unfortunately, one of the things that happens when you have rainy weather and Piedmont Park, you get that mud pit way down here in front of the stage. It'll be interesting to see how many people bring their rain boots, things like that, to help prepare themselves for the event. But things kicking off today at 1 o'clock, expected to be a great day. The best part about this, all free, Judea. And we're gonna check in with some other people already. Yes, all free. We're gonna check in with some other people too, getting their tents ready, getting their picnics ready, and we'll see you later here on Fox Local.
Yeah, thanks, Caitlin. So actually, real quick, when I first got out to you and I saw how many people were out there so early, I mean, yeah, it's 10, it's not gonna start till 1, but these people are really smart because parking is not fun for this event.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, okay? Your best bet is going to be Ubering. There are some VIP lots, things of that nature. There is a parking deck here at Piedmont Park, but your best bet is to carpool for sure. And if you do have all those tents and chairs, things of that nature, yeah, unfortunately you're going to probably have to find a place to park, which I used to live here near Piedmont Park, and it can be really challenging. So just to bring your patience too with all your jazz cool vibes.
And your rain boots. Thanks, Caitlin. All right, so let's bring it back in here real quick. I want to get you guys a 2-minute break, but when we come back, we're going to have an interesting talk with iTeam reporter Dana Fowles. The big question of the hour is your faucet poisoning you? And how do you find out? We'll be back after this break.
on Stott here with I-Team investigative reporter Dana Fowle. Dana, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So Dana comes to us not with a recall, but with a warning.
Yeah, and this is a pretty big warning. This is a real alert, and this just came out from the Consumer Product Safety Commission. This is a government arm, May 14th. So this is pretty new stuff, saying that faucets, some faucets manufactured in China may be leaching lead. And these are faucets in your sink, in the kitchen, and in the bathroom.
Okay.
And so it's something to take note of, and very quickly, because they want you to remove them ASAP.
Yeah. And for those who are unfamiliar, I think a lot of us, right, we're familiar with lead, we know of its harmful effects, but just in case we don't, Dana, can you give us a refresher?
Yeah, I mean, lead is one of those things that used to be found in a lot of paint chips that you would see in older homes. So there used to be ads when I was a kid, like to move baby beds away from the walls because they had those paint chips, and children put things in their mouths, and that has lead. Lead can cause and this is old science, neurological disorders, and that could be ADHD, that could be IQ issues, other cognitive issues. So you definitely, it's not good for anybody, but you definitely don't want toddlers, infants, pregnant women getting a glass of water from anything that's leaching lead.
When I think about this too, I worked in Ohio for about 4 years, right near Michigan. We were in Michigan, often covering stories there, and I always think of Flint and the Flint water crisis.
Right.
Similar situation.
That's right. That's right.
So this is very harmful. I think if you're listening to this, you're probably thinking as a next question, okay, how do I make sure my faucet is safe and doesn't have this lead?
Okay, so this is where it's narrowed down, but yet still kind of broad. These are some that are manufactured in China. They range between $30 and $70, but here's the thing, they've only been sold, according to the government, through Amazon. So you're thinking, oh gosh, how do I know if I have one of those? Here's another tricky part. You can't just go into the bathroom sink and look for branding the way you would on most things.
So many things you buy from Amazon when it comes from China, there's no big brand. It's
and I don't think I realized that until I saw this, and there's going to be no branding. So what you will do is you go to your Amazon page and your orders, and then find that order if you've done some renovations, you've changed out the faucet, and look to see where this was manufactured and the manufacturing names. Now I have 4, I'm going to go ahead and give you those right now. It's a list of offending faucets, if you will, and they're all, again, manufactured in China, sold on Amazon, that's per the warning. It's Vesla Home kitchen faucet, that's sold by Vesla Home. KZH bathroom faucet, sold by Yiji Sanitary Ware. Sino bathroom faucet, that's sold by Sino USA. And Rainsworth bathroom faucet, sold by La Chang Sanitary. Again, you're not going to find any sort of notable branding on it.
No, and that's 4 brands that people need to brands.
Right, and will that list expand? You know, it could. These things happen all the time. So, you know, in the Fox Local app, what we're going to have is the link to the CPSC's warning. And then you want to keep checking in there to see if this expands at all.
You know, Dana, this really makes me think, and you guys, I feel like you could attest to this, but every time I get on TikTok, right, the way that creators, influencers, or just people trying to earn money are selling is getting sneakier and sneakier. And what they'll do a lot of times, maybe you've seen this on TikTok, they'll start off with a carousel or a slideshow telling a story, and they'll suck you in. And it'll be like 10 things I can't live without. And it'll be very innocuous things.
Right.
And as you scroll through, the last or second to last slide will inevitably be a shower faucet or a shower head. And it's really interesting because the first few slides, you get the vibe that you're not being sold to. So by the time it comes to that last slide, you're already, your defenses are down and you're already accepting what is being told to you.
I didn't know this. That's fascinating.
It's also wild because it is such a thing on TikTok that if you will be on enough videos where people are selling things that are, and it's like a carousel, you'll see people in the comments go, oh, thank God, finally not another shower faucet ad.
Oh,
or,
interesting.
Thank God, not another, you know, shower head. Because
I did not know that.
These shower heads are promised, you know, remove heavy metals from your water, all this stuff, and maybe there's truth to it, right? But when you do the digging and you start to look at where they're marketing
so
the
this
link,
is sort of a product that's pushed.
Yes.
Well, all right, so here's something tricky. So
a lot of them come from China when you get in and look at it. Yeah.
And the price is right.
Sure.
I mean, the price is right. So now, is it recalled? That's because, you know, it was a warning.
Yes.
CPSC went to these manufacturers and said, will you please recall these items? And
high levels of lead?
Yeah.
Sounds like they should.
Manufacturers have been asked to recall the faucets, and this, and I quote here, is none has agreed to do this. So here's another, investigative reporter. I went to Amazon. I have an Amazon account, and I looked up these brands. One of these brands, and I'm not going to name it because I can't get enough information yet.
Sure.
And I found one of these brands on there, but I could not tell who the manufacturer was. So I just couldn't tell. And maybe they're under no pressure to pull it. I don't know. So I asked the government, what's going on? Why would these still be here? Is there no pressure to take these off? Is anybody obligated to take these off? And they said, we can offer no more information than what we have in the press release. So the bottom line is, you have this information, you know where to check this link. It is incumbent upon you to manage this for your family, because the government has said, here's the flag.
Yes.
You need to take this out. But that's kind of where they are right now.
I feel this is just how so many things are in life at this point, right? It is up to us to safeguard our family's health, wealth, anything. It's up to us, because if you trust someone else to protect your family at the end of the day, you care about your situation the most. And so taking that initiative, it would be nice if these safety precautions could be enforced a little bit more. But
and maybe this evolves.
Sure.
And maybe it was alarming enough that the CPSC said, hey, we're just going to get this out there. So if you've recently done a renovation, pull this out, get rid of this, and then we'll sort out the details later. But this is what we have for now. Naturally, if we get more details, we'll get it to you. But I would keep an eye on the CPSC link, which we'll attach to stories and all of our formats, so that you can track this as well.
I could see it, to your point, I could see that expanding.
Yes.
And you know, the other thing I kind of think about in looking at all of this too is just as you're, you know, there's so many different risks from things that we buy, consume, what have you, that we don't even realize, right?
Oh, sure.
And, you know, I think it's kind of almost putting, we always say the price is right, but is it right? You know, it's right in the moment, but 20 years, 30 years from now, is the price still right?
Is the price still right?
If
That's a really good
you are
point.
dealing with health issues as a result of these cheaper products. And I think the older I get, the more I kind of am like, transparency. I want to know, like, where my stuff's coming from, where my clothes are created, you know, like how many plastics are in what I'm buying.
Well, and here's something else. So, like, you're going to see a major brand name in kitchen faucets and that sort of thing that you know. We have recognized brands that are American brand names. They're still potentially manufactured in another country, particularly Asia, our trading partner. Now, there's different oversight. Because that is an American company manufacturing overseas. These are being manufactured and marketed by China, for China, into Amazon, rerouting all of these American brand name opportunities.
And it's important to know
Which means they're cheaper.
Yes, of course. And, you know, it's important to know that it's not like every factory in China is the same, right? You have some that are held to incredibly high standards. You have some that are not. And at the end of the day, as a consumer, you have to do your due diligence and understand the risks of what you're looking at.
Right. So, I mean, the first thing you do is, if you have done this and you've received one of these, you just go first thing, go right into your Amazon orders and look at the graph that we put up, the graphic that we put up, and compare and see if you have that. If you do, according to the government, remove it. Just get rid of it. Hop over to your big box store with your American brand name and replace it.
Dana, thank you. Anything else you want to add that I didn't get a chance to ask you?
No, I think that's good. I think we're going to keep tracking this because this is really one of those that has the potential to expand and change, and we'll be on it.
And I haven't even bought a shower head in quite some time, but I'm already kind of thinking about, like, do I need to go just do some digging on what I already have, you know, just to make sure?
You know, nothing I have is new, so.
That's fair.
Actually, that is not true. We do have a new faucet.
Okay.
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 It just dawned on me. I've been
do
talking
have-
about this since last week, and it just dawned on me.
That the little intersection of work and personal.
That's
and you're
right.
like,
That's
okay,
right.
I was
so
talking about
anyway,
this.
that's what I got to do before dinner tonight.
Yes.
Is check our faucets.
Do it. Okay. Dana, thank you so much for being here, for keeping us up to date. Thank you guys for streaming along. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break.
Where it's basically an audition. When you come in to be a chef, you will go side by side with the executive chef or head chef or owner, and he'll give you some ingredients. You come up with some dishes and be side by side with him. And then if you perform well, then you get the job.
All right, sounds good. We'll see if V performed well today. I think he's going to get the job. We'll come to this in just a second. First, though, it is Gwinnett Burger Week. We mentioned that. Give us a rundown. We missed it last year. Missed a lot of things last year, but we're glad to have it back bigger and better than ever. Yeah.
So Gwinnett Burger Week, there's 17 restaurants in this area, basically coming up with their own signature burger, and then you can promote that, and with that you can come to the restaurant, you can see all the restaurants that are involved with that, so you can kind of go in there, scan the QR code, and if you haven't been to our restaurant, you'll see who's involved with the restaurant. Come in and give us a shot.
All right, so this is your entry into Gwinnett Burger Week. What do we call this one, V?
Death by Peaches.
Death by Peaches. All right, I want you to tell me, this is big. And I don't even know what this is. We'll get to that in a second. Tell me how you put this thing together, the concept, the idea, and how you build it just from the bottom up.
We start with a brioche bun, and our patty is short rib chuck and brisket. Also, we have ghost pepper yuzu aioli and a peach pepper jam too. We cook down the peaches with brown sugar and all that, make a little jam out of it. And we'll finish it with arugula and fried onions, and also the death sauce.
That's the what?
Death.
Death sauce?
Yes.
What's the death sauce?
It's ghost peppers and a whole bunch of other peppers that we put together. You squeeze as much as you want in there, or you squeeze the whole thing. It's up to you.
You're making me a little nervous. Should I be?
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe
we'll see your heat level.
Oh, we'll see my heat level. Before I taste it, Staj.
have to sign a waiver.
Wait, what? You got to sign an actual waiver?
If you want to do put the extra.
All right, here we go. I'm going to do it. Should I go for it?
Yeah.
Here, you hold this.
Eat at your own risk, my friend.
There it is, the Death by Peaches waiver. That's how Burgers with Buck rolls. I didn't even read what I'm signing. I just sign it, right? You'll be hearing from my attorney. All right. Death by Peaches. So I squeeze this as much as I want. We go big, right? Let's go for it all. You'll go for it all, right? The death sauce. All right. Oh, there we go. All right, here we go. You got one right here. All right, I'm a little nervous. Here we go.
Have fun. Good luck.
The official kickoff to Gwinnett Burger Week right here. Death by Peaches. it late heat? Is it going to get me in a second?
It's a creeper.
I'm starting to feel it just a little bit. Yeah, there it is. So far, so good. I'm a little concerned when I get to the middle, though. Think I'm going to be all right?
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I'll do one more bite just to make sure we get there. You know what? Look, when that burger week began, gentlemen, I love it. I can feel it. Good luck, everybody.
Stage in Peachtree Corners is open 7 days a week at 11 a.m., including for brunch on Sunday. Next stop, Buckhead, and it's been a few years now since the Bobby Jones Golf Course redesign. If you haven't been out there to play, what are you waiting for? And in case you need a little, or maybe not so little, extra incentive, Burgers with Buck has got your back. All right, welcome to Burgers with Buck. This week we are back in Buckhead. We're at Bobby Jones Golf Course, and what a beautiful day to be outside and enjoying golf and, of course, burgers, right? Hanging out with Austin, hanging out with Jason. We're at Boone's, which is the restaurant here. First of all, the name Boone's. Tell us where that comes from.
Yeah, so it's a man named Boone Knox. He was a entrepreneur and businessman in Augusta back in the days of Bobby Jones. They knew each other. They played together. His family started a foundation. They gave us a large donation, and we named the restaurant after him.
All right, I know I grew up playing golf out here at Bobby Jones. You did as well. Looked a little bit different then. The remodel, how long has it been? And it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's been a couple years. They actually, Bobby Jones Golf Course Foundation and Bobby Jones Links, they help broker a land swap between the city of Atlanta and the state of Georgia. So this is actually state of Georgia owned property now. They completely redid the golf course. They'll tell you every blade of grass. We planted a ton of new trees. And just everything is gorgeous now. It's a reversible 9-hole course instead of 18. A beautiful new clubhouse. We have a new range. Yeah, it really brought a lot of things to municipal golf that I think was missing in the heart of Atlanta.
Great curb appeal when you pull up. You're like, this place is fancy. One thing I don't remember was good food at the old original Bobby Jones Golf Course. I think they may have had maybe a vending machine, maybe a little snack bar, a hot dog at the turn or something like that. You guys have brought the game up there too.
We try. We absolutely try.
Tell me about, you guys obviously full service bar. It's a nice restaurant.
The food, we do a classic Americana. We try to keep it local and fresh as much as possible. And we try to source just the best ingredients and use the best products.
All right, well, let's talk burgers, because that's why we're here. We have two of them out here. This is your classic, which is the one that probably is your biggest seller, I guess. But a little twist on this one right here. This is your... Welcome back. If you're looking for pizza and or wings, Amici might be one of your go-to spots, but what if you're looking for a burger? Well, Amici might still be one of your go-to spots. right, this week, Burgers with Buck, we are in Midtown Atlanta. We're hanging out right here on the corner at a cool place called Amici. Hanging out with Chris and Brandon. How you guys doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great. All right, tell us about Amici. I mean, it's a pizza place, right?
Yeah, it started out as a pizza place, pizza, wings, sandwiches. We do a variety of things, casual, craveable foods, full bar, full menu. We offer a lot of sandwiches and pastas as well.
You guys have been around the state for a little while, kind of new here in Midtown, though. How long have you been here?
Yeah, we've only been in Midtown for 2 weeks, so we've been in the state for almost 30 years, since 1993. So we're in several towns around the state. And this is our first foray into Atlanta.
Awesome. Welcome to the big city, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about, actually, before I get to the specifics, we've talked about in the past barbecue restaurants have great burgers, but I've noticed a trend that pizza restaurants have really good burgers. Why is that, you think?
I think it fills a vote in the car. Like I said, we serve a variety of comfort foods that are craveable, and burgers is one of those, and it fills a gap when not everybody wants to eat a pizza or a wing. So
Makes sense. All right, let's talk about specifically these burgers. Now, this is kind of your signature one here, right? What do you call it?
This is the Amici double stack cheeseburger.
All right, tell me to build it for me. Tell me how you do it.
It's 2 patties. They're 3 ounces apiece, so a total of 6 ounces of meat. You've got 4 pieces of bacon on there with 2 slices of American cheese stacked on top of each other, and we melt the cheese, and that's the product.
So this one's on the menu all the time. This is your main burger. Well, I see we got a couple other little things. It looks like you guys like to have a little fun with it too. Tell me what you got.
We do. These are some of our build your own burgers. This is also the 2 3-ounce patties with blue cheese crumbles and our Amici hot sauce drizzled on top. And it's just a blue cheese crumbles with hot sauce.
Looks good. And this one? I see pepperoni.
Yes, this is a build your own as well. It's just such as a pizza. We have pizza sauce, provolone cheese, pepperoni, and chiffonade basil on that one. And it's a good burger.
With pizza meets burger, I love it. Yeah.
We'll rotate these on the chalkboard periodically and let people try them out. So.
Okay, so this one's available all the time, but then there's some others you'll rotate around.
That's right.
It keeps it fresh, keeps it interesting for that vote in the car, right?
That's right, sure.
Well, we've talked about it enough. I'm gonna hand this to you. I'm ready to give it a try.
I'm
gonna go with the classic. I feel like I should, you know?
I
I feel like the first time I need to try the classic. I'm gonna load all that on there. Everything you gave me except the fries. I'll eat them too, but not on the burger. There, that's a big one. That's a high stack. The classic from Amici. Here we are in Midtown. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right.
That's a brave bite. Good for you. You're an expert.
Not my first. You know what? That's really good. I'll have the burger.
Okay.
Gentlemen,
Sounds good.
thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Amici.
Thanks for coming down.
Amici first opened in Madison, Georgia in 1993, and now 30 plus years later, they have locations all over Georgia and South Carolina. Well, now to Cabbagetown to another spot with an even more diverse menu, Jen Chan's Pizza and Chinese, and that's not all. They are also regular competitors in the annual Atlanta Burger Week competition. Happy Atlanta Burger Week, everyone, from Burgers with Buck. We are back in Cabbagetown. We're at Jen Chan, hanging out with Emily. Emily, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Well, okay, first, before we get to this, tell us a little bit about Burger Week. It starts on Monday, I know that. Tell us a little bit about it and why you guys are participating.
It starts on Monday, it goes through Sunday, all next week. This is our 2nd year doing it, and we will win this year.
Okay. All right. I love the confidence.
Same burger, but with a little evolution, and we love it. If the Georgia Board of Beef is on there, we use hunter cattle, grass-fed beef, gourmet blend. It's a great opportunity for us to get creative, do something different, and participate with a whole bunch of other Atlanta restaurants that are doing the same.
All right, so I can vouch for you. You guys have gotten very creative here with this. Tell us, what do you call it first?
Bulgogi burger.
Bulgogi burger. What's that mean? What does that mean?
Say it 10 times really fast.
I can't. I get it.
So it's an Asian-inspired burger. We marinate the grass-fed beef in bulgogi seasoning. It's more sweet.
Okay.
So you get a lot of that caramelization on the burger whenever we cook it. It gets a nice black char on the outside. Kimchi collards, super funky, super delicious. Our executive chef, Elodie, actually, that's her recipe. And then duck pate, because why not? And then we,
can't think of a reason.
right, like if you could put duck pate on it, do it.
Yeah.
And then shaved watermelon radish, because springtime, it's crisp, it's bright, it's delicious.
Tell us about your place. I mean, what's the concept here, right here on the main drag in Cabbagetown?
Yeah, our concept is eat supper together. My wife and I opened this up a couple years ago, and we just wanted a place to share food experiences with people. It's all about community, and everyone can sit down and join the table together.
Now, I know you were explaining to me that this is your Atlanta Burger Week entry, but it's not always on the menu here. But we can take you behind the curtain and let you know a little secret. Can you let them know a secret?
I will. So we don't offer this at Jen Chan's except for Burger Week next week.
Okay.
But our second location, Mick Chan's in East Atlanta Village, has the burger all the time.
We're always
all the time.
always giving them great information on Burgers with Buck. All right, you know what? I think we've talked about it enough. Say it again. Bulgogi. Bulgogi burger. All right.
Yes.
I'm gonna hand this to you.
Okay.
Wait. I forgot to ask you about this. This was on the table, and this
That's
is
our
the
Seatown sauce.
Okay.
It's our house sauce. We've had it since we opened our restaurant. It's called Cabbagetown sauce. It's spicy, gluten-free, delicious. It slaps, apparently, is what they tell me.
Slaps.
I'm not in with the lingo.
Listen, after
of
the
kids
Oscars,
these
I'm not
days.
sure that's a great idea. But I'm going to go ahead and give it a try on the burger, you think?
We're going to have to
All
redo
right.
this all.
After saying that, we may have to redo the whole segment, too.
Oh, boy.
Did I go too
Go
much?
for it. Go
All right.
for it.
Little Seatown sauce on top of my bulgogi
Yeah,
burger.
you're almost at 10 times.
No, that's true. Here it is. All right, I'm ready. I'm going to
All
bite
right.
right into that
Do
sauce,
it.
too.
Dun, 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 dun.
Bulgogi. I like it.
All right.
You know what? That's pretty good.
I was holding my breath.
Yeah, well, I am now too after eating some of that. but I like it.
Good.
Why
Awesome.
don't you, while I finish this, wish everyone a happy Atlanta Burger Week.
Happy Atlanta Burger Week. We will see you next week at Jen Chan's. Vote for us. Come get a bulgogi burger and some house chips for $10.
We got 2 stops left on this episode of Second Helping. We're headed to Alpharetta and to the old 4th Ward next. One of the things we pride ourselves on at Burgers with Buck is finding really good burgers at places where you might not traditionally think of ordering a burger. Case in point, Buena Vida Tapas and Soul on the Beltline. All right, this week, Burgers with Buck, we're back in Old Fourth Ward, not far from Pot City Market. We are at Buena Vida Tapas, hanging out with Juan. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
Good. All right, so tell us a little bit about your spot here. First of all, the thing that jumps out to me is you have a prime location on the corner right next to the Beltline.
Thank you very much. So we are a Spanish tapas restaurant, and we try to stay true to what Spain is doing with their food currently. And we're also inspired by the south of Spain and its islands.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the location. I know there's a lot of construction going on right now, and it's going to be unbelievable when it's done. But I bet on the weekends, just with foot traffic alone, this place gets nuts.
Yeah, we love it. You know, we're in the heart of Old Fourth Ward, so we get a lot of the neighborhood that comes in and dines with us on the weekdays. And on the weekends, we get people from all over the state that are coming to the Beltline and they visit us. So we actually have a really big footprint as far as seeing people all the way up from Alpharetta or just from out of town and everywhere.
All right, so your tapas style restaurant, so that makes total sense to me for a tapas style restaurant, right? Small plates, so it's okay. But we also have this right here, which is a little bit different. Let's start with your tapas style burgers. What do you call these, and tell us about them.
So this is our Manchego mini burgers, and these are 2 sliders. It's beef patties in a King's Hawaiian roll with 3-month-aged Manchego cheese that we bring from Spain, some pickled vegetables, some Spanish aioli, and a guindilla pepper on top.
Seems like the perfect treat if you're walking the Beltline, stop in, you need a little nourishment, right?
Yeah, it's actually one of our one of our best sellers. People love it, and for that reason, we actually created its bigger version.
The Big Brother. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this one's on the brunch menu only. Tell us, what do you call it?
Yeah, so that's on the brunch menu Saturdays and Sundays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We call it the Buena Vida Burger.
All right, I want to know, man. I want you to tell. There's a lot happening here. How do you build the Buena Vida Burger?
Oh, yeah, so that's a big boy. So brioche bun, beef patty, 3-month-aged Manchego cheese. We've got tomato, onion, spinach, bacon, and we got some Spanish aioli and a fried egg on top.
My mouth's watering as you speak. You know that.
It's one of my favorites.
All right, before I taste it, and we're not going to wait much longer, you guys opened right before the world ended, right? With the pandemic. But just tell me about kind of the process to where you guys are now.
Yeah. So we actually opened December of 2019, right before the pandemic, and then everything shut down. And when we opened up, we just try to work with the neighborhood and with all the guests, and we're just happy to say that people keep coming back, people keep on loving it, and they keep on giving us awesome reviews about the burgers and everything else that we sell.
Well, that's a perfect segue to find out if I can give you an awesome review. Can I hand you this?
All right.
All right. I had some options here, and I think I'm going to go with the big boy, just because. That's just how I roll.
I'll help you eat this one.
Well, I might eat that too. You never know. There it is, the Buena Vida. Whoa, you're not kidding. It's not my first burger, and I just about made a mess there. The Buena Vida Burger, there it is right there. I have to tuck that bacon in so I can get some of that in there. Here we go. A little messy.
That's the best way to have it.
You make a good point, Juan. You know what? I'm gonna give you another great review right there.
Thank you very much.
I love it, Juan. The Buena Vida Burger. I'm gonna finish this, and then I got some more work to do.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir. Back to you.
Thank you, guys.
From a Spanish-style restaurant in the Old Fourth Ward to a Spanish-style restaurant in Alpharetta. Our final stop this week, Fogon and Lyons. All right, this week, Burgers with Buck, we're back in downtown Alpharetta. We're at a brand new spot. I'm going to try not to butcher the name too bad. Fogon and Lyons. Did I get it close?
That's perfect.
I'm with Chef Julio. How you doing, man?
I'm excellent, Buck. Welcome to Fogon and Lyons.
No, thank you very much. So I always consider Burgers with Buck an educational segment. So I guess Fogon and Lyons. Can you define the word Fogon? I'm not familiar with it.
Absolutely. The word Fogon stands for stone or brick wooden stove.
Okay.
And the name Lyon is in honor to my grandfather, who was a butcher in the 60s. They have a butcher shop in the city known as the City of Lions.
Okay, that was in Puerto Rico.
That was in Puerto Rico, yes.
Very cool. All right. So this is a brand new spot. Tell me, how long have you been here, and what's kind of the concept behind Fogon and Lyons?
Well, we are a new restaurant. We only opened a week ago. We are a Spanish Latin concept where Spain is a mother cuisine of what we do, and we have all the countries now Spanish influence from South America, Central America, and the Caribbean.
All right. How about this area right here in downtown Alpharetta? We have watched this turn into really just one of the coolest spots in the metro area, haven't we?
The Mystic in Alpharetta, the dining Mystic in downtown Alpharetta is unbelievable. You know, it's a great town, great neighborhood, great restaurants, and we're just very humble and happy to be part of it.
You know, it seems like no matter what the concept or the style of the restaurant, most places have a burger on the menu, right? No matter if it's necessarily a Latin dish or not. But why is it important to have a burger?
It's important for me because my grandfather was a butcher, so I want to do something because at home we used to eat, you know, all the end cuts of it when I grew up. Yeah. So we make burgers, meatballs, all this kind of stuff. So in order to that, I just want to have a burger on the menu and just highlight it the best way I can.
All right, so you call this one the Fogon burger, right?
It's called the Fogon burger.
Okay,
yeah. Fogon.
Yeah, I like it. So tell me, how do you build it? Let's talk about the bun and everything. Tell me how you put this together.
So we have a brioche bread, and then we have a rabbano sauce, which means horseradish in English. And then it's a blend of brisket, short rib, and chuck. Okay. And then we top it with white cheddar and house-made pickle.
How about the actual cooking process? The Fogon, do you use, you know, like the brick oven? Is that part of the process of putting this together?
Yeah, what makes this burger very special is we cook over wood fire, so you have these beautiful aromas of the wood and the flavor and the taste to it. I think it's an amazing burger.
Do you think you can really taste the difference when it's cooked over in a wood oven like that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, cooking over wood is such a special way of cooking, and it takes us many years back when we don't have any stove or anything like that. You know, for some reason it's coming back, and people start appreciating it.
What's old is new again. I love it. I'm going to hand you this. I'm ready to taste this thing.
Thank you.
The Fogon burger.
Fogon burger.
From Fogon and Lions in downtown Alpharetta. That's a big one right there. You ready? I know I'm ready. Here we go, Chef.
The messy burger. Watch out.
Mm-hmm. There we go. You know what? I really can't taste that wood fire, that flavor in there. That really is nice. Right. I like it, Chef.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julio.
Great to have you. Thank you.
Me and Julio down by downtown Alpharetta, right?
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Burgers with Buck Second Helping as we look back on some of our great burger memories through the years. If you've got a favorite that you'd like to see us feature, just let us know. Follow us on Instagram at Burgers with Buck, and don't forget to watch Burgers with Buck Friday mornings at 8:20 on Good Day Atlanta. And until next time.
Well, welcome in. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thank you so much for streaming with me on your Sunday morning. We've got a lot of news to get to, and one of the first stories involves a prayer vigil surrounding Target. Our Lindsay Tuman joins us live in Conyers. And Lindsay, can you explain why a Metro Atlanta pastor wants us to do this?
Yes, Ariel, this is involving Pastor Jamal Bryant from New Birth Missionary Baptist Church. He's calling on a protest today from churches across the country, and what he is calling a protest based on prayer to help take a stand for justice. Now, today in particular is the 5th anniversary of the death of George Floyd, and that's why they're having this planned protest outside of Target today. He's calling on these churches to do this prayer-filled protest as a way to honor Floyd's life and also what he calls a continued pursuit of justice. So this all started back in March when Pastor Bryant called for a boycott of Target stores over the business's decision to scale back its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Now, since then, Target sales have taken a hit, and the CEO made a statement to Business Insider saying there are many other factors also driving down Target sales, including potential tariffs. A spokesperson for the company also said they're dedicated to fostering inclusivity to everyone, but Pastor Bryant says more needs to be done.
I don't want you to go inside. This is a spiritual act of uprising, of prayer for 9 minutes and 40 seconds. The revolution will happen through prayer, and I believe that it's going to change America one church at a time.
Well, that protest is supposed to happen later this afternoon. And on Pastor Bryant's Instagram page, he said that there are churches from across the country who are planning to take part in this as well in all different locations. So, of course, we'll keep you updated throughout the day. But for now, that's the very latest live out here in Conyers. I'm Lindsay Tuman for Good Day Atlanta.
Lindsay, thank you so much for giving us that update and letting us know where things stand. We'll continue to check in with the latest. Okay, guys, bringing it back over here. Think about a coffee social. Think about a dance party. Think about music. And we're going to put it all together and get the event that Eli Jordan is at right now. Eli, I see you there in a hallway. I am going to guess it's because it's very loud in the party, so I hope you can hear me now. Tell me what's going on.
Hey, good morning, Ariel. It's not loud yet. They are in there centering themselves with some good mellow, centering, ambient tunes. But it's a really cool underground spot here, the supermarket. And here at the supermarket, Daybreaker Coffee Club is happening, and that's a sober dance scene. Come in here, people are, usually in a club, people are drinking and spending a bunch of money, but they're in here now, like, they're all centering themselves. It's somewhat like yoga. Let you get a crowded sense of this. Somebody hit a microphone. It wasn't me. But anyways, so over here we got Jackie Zephyrin. She's one of the organizers of the Daybreak Coffee Club. Hey, Jackie, how you doing?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. And so tell me, what do you guys have going on here today?
Well, we're starting our Daybreaker Coffee Club event today with a sound and breath activation. And that's really just to get people grounded into the space, oriented before we move into the dance party.
And so what is the dance party going to be like?
Epic. It is high energy from the jump. Like, we're not wasting any time. So it's going to be 90 minutes of like nonstop dance, dance, dance.
And so, I mean, this is an alternative for people that, a lot of people say, hey, I don't drink, and they never get invited out anywhere.
Exactly, exactly. Daybreaker is a wellness and dance community. It's all about creating fun, substance-free environments for the family, for the community to come out and just dance.
And
So it's
have you
perfect.
guys done this before here in Atlanta?
This is our 6th activation in Atlanta. This is the first time we've done this format where we have the coffee with the sound and breath work. But yeah, we've been doing this for about 5 years now.
If somebody's catching this at home and they want to know when the next one is, what can they do to figure
You
that
can
out?
first go to daybreaker.com and get all of the events across the globe. The next Atlanta event will be in July of 2025, and those tickets will also be posted on daybreaker.com.
And you guys recently had one at the High Museum, right?
Yes, we did.
And how did that turn out?
Oh my God, it was amazing. It was for the Party to the Polls tour, where we were getting people out from the red and the blue side. We call it the purple tour, where both colors come together and dance and vote. And we had one of the highest turnouts for voter activation across the nation.
And you know, when people come here, I mean, you got the social, you got the coffee, people get to know each other, and then you got the breathing, kind of centering themselves and stuff. And then the party starts at, for about 90 minutes. And this is like fun for the whole family. Right?
Yeah, we have some families here today. You'll see kids with their moms and dads. You'll see some grandparents as well. Like, we want to create a space where it's all generations are free to come and dance with one another. It's not for one demographic or one group of people, right? It's for our whole community.
And we got some people here that look like they're dressed to go to the dance club at night, and we got some people that are dressed in their yoga outfits and stuff, and people just regular, everyday street attire. Looks like, I mean, it's a good mix of people too. I mean, men, women, and ethnicities, and there's probably about 75 to 100 people here right now, and people are still coming in.
Yeah.
And this is really unique. I mean, do you have it at the same venue every time?
We want to support as much local business as we possibly can. So we've been at the High Museum, we've been at the Luminarium, we're here at the supermarket for the first time. So again, it gives us an opportunity not only highlight talent from the community, but also our venue spaces from the community. So if you have any suggestions, let me know.
Awesome, cool. Thank you very much, Jackie. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And there you have it, Ariel. People are getting their centered selves here, and it's real quiet, so I don't want to interrupt.
Sure.
But I'm ready for them to jam and cut a rug.
Eli, I've
I'm
never
gonna go back
been
here
to
so you
this
get a nice view of it.
this space before. It's so unique. I'm loving getting this tour. I've never been, or I haven't known about the supermarket.
Yeah, do you know where the old inn is on Highland next to Sweet Auburn Barbecue?
Okay, yeah, I know right where that is.
That's, it's in the basement of that.
I love what Jackie was saying about how, like, families, friends, groups of people can come to this. It's not just like for singles. It's really for anyone who's seeking kind of that wellness space where they can also party and have a good time. They just don't need alcohol to do it.
Exactly, and I've already seen a couple, children here hanging out with their parents, and it's a unique, different experience.
Yeah.
And one that doesn't, where you don't have to have anything to change your mood or anything like that. It's just maybe a little bit of coffee, some water, and
I love it.
some good people and good tunes.
Well,
It's a good vibe
Eli,
here.
I'm glad you asked Jackie about how people can book tickets for the next one. I'd heard she said it's July 2025 is the next Daybreaker. So if you're streaming along with us, you're watching this, and you're thinking, when can I go to attend the next one? It's going to be in July of this year. It's a very popular concept, Eli. I mean, I was looking at their website. Daybreaker parties have sold out in other big major cities like Miami and LA. And the fact that this one is going to have couple hundred people at it today, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and if you want to, they don't have an exact date for July, but you can sign up for their newsletter at daybreaker.com.
Okay.
Daybreaker.com. You can get all your information there and get ready for the next one if you can't make it out today.
Eli, thanks so much for giving us this look. I'm going to go ahead and let you catch up, maybe get your mindfulness and meditation centered for the rest of the day, Eli, before we come back maybe and see you dancing along. Fingers crossed, we're going to get an Eli Jordan dance special.
Yep.
He's skeptical. It's okay, guys. We'll entice him to, show us his moves. Okay, let's bring it back here in studio because it is time to get a check of your weather forecast if you are headed out to Jazz Fest or any other number of activities happening on this Sunday before Memorial Day. Alex Forbes is standing by ready to give us the 411. Alex, I keep saying that. I don't see sun behind you, so...
Yeah, that's the other direction. Sorry. No, yeah, so we do have just a couple peaks of sunshine, not so much in this direction. This is the Georgia Power camera looking off towards the northwest, towards Georgia Tech right now. We're looking at a temperature in Atlanta of 69. By the time we get to the top of the hour, the top of the noon hour, looking for 72, 81 by about 6 p.m. with some peaks of sunshine across the area. 67 right now in Eatonton, 69 in Athens. You got some steadier showers on the other side of Lake Oconee and Sinclair headed out towards the Augusta area. All of that is moving out. Not seeing a whole lot of redevelopment back into Alabama and Mississippi just yet, but that is to be expected. How about this? Think about this. It is 10:09 in the morning in Houston, Texas, and it is already 87 degrees. So just be glad we are not there because that is rather warm. All right, here we go into the afternoon and evening. Looking for some more breaks in the clouds, some storms around for the late afternoon hours, but then once we get into the evening, yeah, that storm chance goes up to about 40% for 7 and 9 o'clock tonight. Here's how it looks on the hour-by-hour forecast model. There we are, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. The storm's really beginning to fire up and then pushing down towards the south and east during the course of the evening and overnight hours. Should be dry for tomorrow morning. That's Memorial Day itself. On into the afternoon, here comes the scattered shower and storm activity. Again, nothing to go canceling any daytime plans over, but it is something that I would watch closely on the radar. Then once we get past the sunset hour tomorrow, I expect to see some more widespread rain across the area before, you guessed it, we see a northeasterly breeze, another chance for some rain and storms by the time we get to Tuesday. So a level 1 severe weather risk today. It's as low end gets. All right. Damaging winds up to 60 miles an hour would be possible. Some large hail. I would be shocked if we saw more than one storm do that today. For tomorrow, that's going to be south of Interstate 20 primarily with the same threats. Then for Tuesday, pretty much the same area as Monday with that line of storms you saw coming in. Now, if you're like me, you have plans to go to the Braves game later today. Padres 4:10 first pitch. Hopefully we can take the series. That rain chance will be going up during the course of the game and will be at its highest by the time the game ends. If we do see anything at Truist Park, the hope is, knock on wood, that it would be relatively short-lived. At a 60% chance of rain tomorrow, that's up to 70% on Tuesday, Ariel, and then remaining unsettled for the rest of the week and the rest of the month, for that matter, with June beginning next weekend.
Alex, I can't believe we're already at June. Looking at this forecast, I would say between today and tomorrow looks a little dicier if you have outdoor plans. So.
A little dicier, but nothing to cancel plans over at this point.
Good to know. Good to know. Summer patterns holding strong. Alex, thank you. Okay, guys, bringing it back over here. It is time to take a 2-minute break. It'll be over before you know it. When we come back, we're going to check in with Caitlin Pratt, who is giving us a look at what to expect for Jazz Fest. So we'll see you back here in 2 minutes. Welcome in. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for streaming with us. You guys, if you have experienced Jazz Fest here in Atlanta, you know what a treat it is. Our very own Caitlin Pratt is out at Piedmont Park giving us a look at what to expect. And Caitlin, the big thing here is this is going to continue rain or shine.
Rain or shine, that's what organizers say, Ariel. And this is such a popular event each and every year here at Piedmont Park. Last year, organizers say nearly 200,000 people were here in Piedmont Park over that 3-day stretch of the festival. Always a very popular event and always dicey because of the time of year as far as the weather goes. I'm going to give you a look at just what kind of conditions we're dealing with right now. You see the clouds up there, a little cloudy, but people already setting up their rigs here, their camps for the day. And we have some tarps covering the sound equipment, covering the cameras. The camera, of course, putting the images of the stage up there for all to see on those screens. Everyone's getting ready. Things are going to be starting around 1 o'clock this afternoon. That's when the first act takes the stage, and we are going to be dealing with some wet conditions as far as if you're one of those people who like to get up close to the stage because of wet weather yesterday and overnight. It's really muddy here, typical for festivals here at Piedmont Park. Whenever there's some wet weather, was catching up with these ladies. They know what they're doing here. They have this tarp on the ground. They have their chairs, and those chairs also convert into a sunshade and rain shade if they need it as well. So something to keep in mind if you plan on heading out here today. It's going to be a long day. There are 5 acts in all that are going to be taking the stage, starting at 1, lasting up until the evening. Yesterday, our colleague Tyler Finger was here covering the first day of Jazz Fest. Nearly 50,000 people were here yesterday alone. And right now we're looking at all this grass. In his video, you could barely see any grass because there were so many tents, so many people here. And I want to direct you up to the top of the hill. That's always a popular place to put your tent. That's where people are, gathering with their chairs, having some drinks, listening to the music, catching up with friends, things of that nature. So things getting underway here at Piedmont Park for sure. This is the 48th time that the Atlanta has put this on. It's such a popular event. People equate Memorial Day weekend with Jazz Fest. So it's nice to be part of something special, something that's become really part of the fabric and traditions of so many here in Atlanta. Ariel?
Yeah, Caitlin, it is incredible. I think every year I'm just so impressed by people's setups and how seriously they take this, right? Like, they're going to be out there, they're going to be prepared, they're going to make sure they have the equipment they need to be able to enjoy this, even if it does sprinkle a little bit. And just the dedication, like it is what, 11? And already people are sitting and saving their spots for an event at 1. Like, it's excellent. Setting up, I see you showing us that. Caitlin, I have to tell you something so funny. So yesterday, a note on the parking, right? A friend of ours parked in our driveway in Midtown, and he was coming to see us, Ubering to see us at the zoo, and people who were circling looking for a parking space in Midtown were telling him, can you call your friends, ask them if we can park in their driveway too. That's how desperate and intense it gets.
I mean, you should have started your own side business, side hustle, for events like this, okay?
You're inspiring me. I think I should have. I missed the opportunity, but who's to say that, who knows what today or tomorrow will bring. But I love it. Yeah, all the way up until 9 o'clock, you can watch some incredible performers. I know last year we had Andre 3000 on his new flute, with his new style. Andre is not on the schedule this year, but there are some incredible performers, and I can't wait to see what people come out to enjoy. So, Caitlin, thank you so much for giving us this look. I hope you stay dry, Caitlin. Hope it's not sprinkling yet.
Thanks, Ariel. See you later.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, let's bring it back. It is about time to go ahead and take a quick 2-minute break. Before we get there, I do want to tell you one story here in our newsroom. We have about the time for that. So, a story to keep you updated on is that a Dalton police officer who arrested a college student who is in the United States illegally has now resigned. So we're learning new details about this story, but Leslie O'Neill was that police officer. He pulled over 19-year-old Jimena Cristobal for a traffic violation, but later it was revealed he pulled over the wrong car. Police later dropped the charges after reviewing the footage and finding out she was mistakenly identified. But federal officials discovered she's not in the U.S. legally. She was granted bond after 2 weeks in an ICE detention facility, but Cristobal could still be deported. She's now working with her lawyer to obtain legal status. Her case has reignited the debate over how the U.S. should handle immigration cases involving individuals who were brought to this country illegally as children. Cristobal was brought to the United States, traveled here when she was around 4 years old with her family. So we'll continue to keep you updated on this story. We're about at 11:20 on your Sunday morning, so it is time for a 2-minute break. And when we return, we're going to have more news and weather for you after this. Well, welcome in. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We want to help you keep you and your family safe as measles cases grow here in Georgia. So for that, we want to bring in Dr. Neil Winnower from Grady Hospital. Dr. Winnower, thank you so much for joining us and giving your expertise to us today.
Pleasure.
So, Doctor, we have multiple cases of measles confirmed here in the state of Georgia now. What does this mean? What's happening? How is this happening?
Well, how it's happening is most of the cases are imported. They're not outbreaks like the outbreak in Texas is. A lot of, or the cases, the large portion, if not all the cases, are individuals who are not vaccinated for the measles, travel typically outside the country or to an endemic area. They could go to the Texas community, but in the, like, for example, the last case in Georgia, it was someone who flew out of the country and was at risk because they were not vaccinated, and they went to an area where measles was more prevalent and got infected and then came back and experienced symptoms when they were here.
Yeah. So, Dr. Winnower, I want to take it down a notch, right, to the base pace of what is measles? For those who are unfamiliar, what is this sickness?
It's a viral infection, and how it starts is with most viral infections that we're familiar with: the common cold, the flu, COVID. Typically, viruses generally cause upper respiratory infections, and in this case, that's what the measles does as well. It starts off within 7 to 14 days of being exposed to someone who is infected. You start to develop some upper respiratory symptoms. So you get a runny nose, you get some sniffling, you get a cough, you get watery eyes, something called conjunctivitis, which could be pink eye, a headache, all the general feelings of malaise you might get from a cold or flu. But then it's different with measles because measles can also then evolves to develop white spots in your mouth. Those are called Koplik spots that people often get. And then it turns into the characteristic rash, starting typically in the face and extending down the neck and the trunk and out towards the extremities. And that's the typical measles rash that we see about close to 2 weeks after initial exposure.
So, doctor, when is it time to see a doctor, right? When is it time to say, hey, this isn't normal and I need to do something about this?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I mean, if you have upper respiratory symptoms and only upper respiratory symptoms that are similar to a common cold or flu, then you take over-the-counter medications. You could test yourself for COVID if you want, but now, I mean, COVID's so prevalent, just like flu is, that you should exercise precautions and covering your cough and wearing a mask when you're uh, around others as well, or stay inside as well if you don't feel up to going to work. But the symptoms are very similar. You should only really seek medical attention is when you have persistent high fever that's not going away. If you have shortness of breath, where the concern might be that some of these viral upper respiratory infections can evolve into pneumonia, viral pneumonia. So those are the big things. And then there's rare concerns of infection in the brain, and that would be only in rare instances of patients who are confused or acting differently. So to summarize, it really would be shortness of breath and behavioral changes and persistent fever would be the big ones. And then lastly, specific to measles, if your upper respiratory infection then leads to a rash, and I want to be clear, not all rashes, in fact, the majority of rashes that you get from viruses are not related to measles. You can get rashes from a variety of viruses, but if you do see a rash and you have your concerns that this might be measles, then obviously see your doctor. But we'll get into the fact that if you're vaccinated for measles, it's unlikely going to be measles.
So, Dr. Winterwer, you set me up for the perfect next question, right? Which is, how do we prevent measles?
Yeah, I'll probably say over and over again during this interview that the top three are vaccination, vaccination, and vaccination. Because if you're vaccinated for measles, now typically measles is given as measles, mumps, rubella, the MMR vaccine. It's offered at the ages of 12 to 15 months, the first shot. And then the second shot is anywhere between 4 and 6 years. The first shot offers anywhere from 93 to 95% protection against the measles. But then if you receive your second shot in that age range, 4 to 6 years of age, you're essentially 98% lifetime effect, prevented in terms of getting the measles. You're 98% protected. And that's a lifelong immunity, a lifelong protection. You don't need to get a booster. So clearly the most important way that you can protect yourself is getting vaccinated. And that has been shown to be safe and effective. The measles vaccine has been around a long time. And then other things I would say that are far less concerning, because for a vaccinated person who has a healthy immune system, and we can get into who's at risk in a little bit, but for those who have a healthy immune system, which most people fortunately do, you don't have to give it any other consideration or any other thought. If you go into an endemic area or a place where measles is more prevalent outside of the U.S., then you should consider other types of protection like an N95 mask. But for an average individual who's vaccinated, extremely rare that you would have any concerns or any worry about being infected.
It makes sense. And, I think with some of these illnesses, we often think that we're above it, right? And as you said, for so many who have a healthy immune system, that may be the case. But for a lot of people, there are vulnerabilities. And can you talk a little bit about who's most at risk? Who's the most vulnerable here?
Sure. And even before I do that, I'll just say that measles is one of the most, and this is why we're talking about this, because measles is one of the most contagious viruses in the history of the world. And the reason why that's the case is it has the ability to attach to very small aerosols. Basically, when we cough, just like an aerosol can, we don't see it, but we spray out tiny particles. And measles has the ability to attach to the tiniest of particles and stay floating in the air for several hours. So basically, someone with measles who coughs in a room can leave the room, and still someone who is not vaccinated could be at risk of getting measles by walking into that room for a full 2 hours after the person has left. And that's also because measles doesn't take many particles to infect you. 1 to 2 viral particles is all it takes to infect someone, whereas with the flu or COVID, it takes more particles than that to infect someone. So that's the first thing, that measles is so contagious. And the people who are at greatest risk are the people who have weakened immune systems. And who are those people? Those are generally people with HIV, whose HIV has progressed to the point of AIDS, where their immunity is really depressed. They're patients who have an active cancer and are receiving chemotherapy. There are patients who are also on strong immunosuppressive drugs to suppress the body's immune system. And who are those patients? Those are patients who have inflammatory autoimmune type diseases like rheumatoid arthritis and lupus, to name a few. And those are generally the big ones. And then also, lastly, patients who have undergone organ transplantation, who are on immunosuppressive therapy to suppress the immune system's reaction against the organ that they've received. So those are the main groups who are at risk and shouldn't really receive the vaccine, because the vaccine is what's called a live attenuated vaccine, meaning that it's the vaccine is not killed, but it can't infect you. But what it does is it replicates a little bit inside the body, triggering the body's immune system to recognize what the measles virus looks like and to create antibodies against it. And in those patients who have weakened immune system, that reaction would be compromised. So you would just speak to your doctor, essentially, if you were one of those individuals, on how best to protect yourself.
It makes sense. And, when you think about the viral load of this illness and how little it takes to get infected, you can see why it spread so quickly among children, back before the vaccine, and why that's so important. As a final question here, doctor, why are we seeing this outbreak now? We've had this vaccine for a while, and now we're seeing a resurgence of this illness. Any ideas for why that is?
100%. It's directly tied to lower vaccination rates. Measles was considered eradicated, and it would stay eradicated if enough individuals were vaccinated. If we were able to vaccinate over 95% of our kids, then they would develop something that we discussed during the pandemic, a concept called herd immunity, where enough people in the community would be vaccinated that you would be able to protect those who are vulnerable, who didn't get vaccinated. And for example, those with weakened immune systems or those under the age of 6 months who can't receive the vaccine. So that's so you know, as an aside, if a child was in an outbreak and he was not 12 to 15 months, you could get the measles vaccine after the age of 6 months. So you can get it early. It doesn't count towards your two-dose regimen, but you can get it early to protect yourself. But if you're under 6 months of age, or you're a pregnant woman carrying, your immunity would be okay, but your fetus might not be protected.
Sure.
So those are all vulnerable folks, and that's why the people who can get vaccinated should get vaccinated to protect those of us who are most vulnerable around them. And lastly, I'll just say, you know, these outbreaks are not dispersed evenly throughout the United States. They're in specific communities who have objections about, for whatever that reason may be, religious or otherwise, or misinformation, which is a very big one. And then so you have these pockets, communities whose vaccination rates drop into the 70s or below, and measles is just lying in wait, waiting to, you know, basically be opportunistic and infect anybody it can. And that's why you're seeing these pockets of infection, like we're seeing today.
Dr. Winterworth, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us and letting us know how we can better protect ourselves against something so contagious. We thank you for your time, and thank you for streaming with us. It's about time to go ahead and take a break. When we return, we're going to have more news and weather for you guys coming up after this. Welcome in, you guys. It is the Sunday before Memorial Day, and Alex, the question I think a lot of people are wondering, what's the weather going to be like today?
Pretty nice, back to you.
Is it really?
No, not really.
Yeah.
So
See?
here's the thing. here's the thing. For some people, it's going to be nice today.
Okay.
If you want the rain, it's going to be even nicer.
Okay.
But look, not everybody's going to see rain today. And I think that's something that's really important to point out, right? Because everybody's looking at their phone. They're going, oh, 40% chance of rain.
Sure.
Well, that's a 60% chance of not seeing rain.
Yes.
And I really think, by and large, a lot of people are going to stay dry during the daytime hours. Once we get into the night tonight, that's when things will begin to change. So let's check it out. 69 degrees here in Atlanta right now, 71 in Noonan, 70 in Griffin. This morning's rain is off in eastern Georgia now. That's an Augusta problem, not an us problem. So here we go into the afternoon. Mostly cloudy still. We're not seeing a ton in the way of sunshine, and then we'll mix in some showers and storms later this afternoon and then keep that around through the evening hours and likely into the early overnight hours across the area. For today, I'm looking for a high temperature in Atlanta right around 82. We'll say 77 over in Gainesville, 80 in Athens, 83 in Rome, 83 in Carrollton, and that does come with a 40% chance of showers and storms. Now, tomorrow, Memorial Day itself, that's going to be up to 60%, all right? So you're thinking about heading out on the lake, headed out to the pool, any of the outdoor activities, and you have the choice between this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon, I'd probably pick this afternoon.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that you get wet today and stay dry tomorrow, right? It's just, it's all a chance game. But look, if you've got the whole week off, lucky you, I would not plan on anything on Tuesday. That's when the rain chance is going to be up to 70%.
Good to know. As we're looking ahead at this, any chances for this kind of cool down period we're in to continue, or?
Yeah, so that 70% chance of rain on Tuesday is going to come with some cooler temperatures. That's going to be that wedge pattern. If you're from North Georgia, familiar with North Georgia, particularly Northeast Georgia, you know all too well what we're talking about here, and that is going to be the cloudy, windy, overcast, drizzly, and likely this go round even stormy day across the area.
You know, I just think like these patterns we're in, it's par for the course. It's like springtime, kind of summer as we move into it, right? Where it's like almost like Florida weather. You get the scattered showers. Someone in Buckhead's like, it's pouring, and you're over in, say, Midtown or Kirkwood, and you're like, oh, the sun's shining.
Or you're at Truist Park.
Okay.
And you are looking at some sunny skies, which is the hope here through the afternoon. So we're going to keep the rain chances low for a first pitch against the Padres at 4:10. So important to note, yes, a Sunday game at 4:10. But as the evening goes on, that's going to be as our rain chances go up. And that's where you get the spotty nature that you were talking about.
If it is sunny at the Braves game and rainy everywhere else, Alex, I'm going to be making some phone calls.
I'll be thrilled, that's for sure.
I know.
I'll
You're
be
always
out
at the
there.
Braves games.
Yeah, exactly. Including today, 4:10. See you out there. Then tonight, look, we'll have a couple of storms hanging around. And then for tomorrow, Memorial Day itself, right? 83 degrees. This is the best chance of rain through the holiday weekend. It's also going to be somewhat sticky through the afternoon hours. So something we'll be keeping an eye on.
Okay. Well, Alex, thank you so much. Yeah, definitely see the greatest chance for rain there on Tuesday. So we'll definitely check back in with you to see how it goes.
All right.
Okay, guys. Well, we have an I-Team investigation to get to. Our very own Johnny Edwards spoke with some neighbors in unincorporated DeKalb County who are fed up with their one neighbor's so-called party house. Let's watch it.
Hear that noise coming through the trees? That's music blasting from a neighbor's speakers.
It's loud enough to feel a vibration in my body standing in my home. My nervous system can't take this anymore.
Andre Jackson and his wife live right next to the source of noise.
You can hear them inside our house. You can certainly hear them on our deck.
His loud neighbor, 36-year-old Brock Shorter, whose home went up 2 years ago. He told us by phone he's within the law.
I do have parties. Like, I do have music playing. You're going to be able to hear it during the hours that are allowed to hear it. But it's not going to be unreasonable.
Now, in this once quiet neighborhood in unincorporated DeKalb, just inside the perimeter, a clash of lifestyles. Some of Shorter's gatherings so huge, cars fill up the front lawn, with valet parking, shuttle service, and armed security.
We live with loud music, screeching car tires.
Some of these parties, revenue generators. Shorter has the house listed on Airbnb and Gigster as a modern compound. Some events charging admission.
His rights don't or shouldn't overshadow my rights.
So how is this allowed in a residential area? It's not, according to a county spokesman. Records show complaints about Shorter's address have poured into police and code compliance. Ann Jackson delivered a letter to county commissioners and code compliance in June, signed by 32 surrounding neighbors, comparing Shorter's house to a commercial nightclub. But despite everything the neighbors reported to the DeKalb County government, the party house went right on partying. Shorter cited for code violations, most of them dismissed. Police reports show officers often asking Shorter or other party hosts to keep it down, but also informing those complaining that the county's noise ordinance doesn't take effect until 11 at night. The neighborhood's county commissioner says that ordinance needs updating.
We have been working on a short-term rental ordinance. A portion of that ordinance does relate to dealing with these party house issues, and we have also tried to tackle it through strengthening our current noise ordinance.
The proposed fix, capping decibels at 65 during the day and forbidding sounds audible 100 feet from the source late at night and into the morning, which would be a relief to Rafi Muhana, who lives on another street.
Sometimes we cannot sleep, we cannot work, we cannot rest, we cannot use our deck.
We reached out to Shorter too. He would only talk by phone. He said his neighbors are exaggerating the sound levels, which he's tested himself.
The property line. They've complained so many times, right? And they like choreograph the complaint.
Shorter denied running a party house, saying most of the parties his neighbors complain about are his own. He denied selling tickets. We asked him, though, about this advertisement for Memorial Day.
Yeah, it says $25 admission, $48 for men, $117 parking on site, $866.32 for 2 bottles and 5 tickets.
If you can't send me that link, I have nothing to do with that.
After our call, the ad changed to canceled.
Yum-yums.
Neighbors say they just want the loud noise to stop.
I don't have a problem with someone having a party, but having speakers that are loud enough to reverberate sound into my home to disturb my children's bedrooms and my bedrooms is unacceptable.
Well, welcome back. I'm Ariel Onstad here with I-Team investigative reporter Johnny Edwards. Johnny, story this week. Some neighbors sound really fed up.
They are infuriated and at their wits' end with this situation.
Yeah, so, you know, if you're just joining us, we just watched a piece about this so-called party house in unincorporated DeKalb County, and neighbors describe some of what neighbors say they're hearing and what their frustrations are.
Well, this is what used to be a very quiet street just inside the perimeter. People living there are trying to raise kids, trying to enjoy retirement, or maybe they're older and in the final years of their career. And a mini mansion went up a couple years ago. And this is a younger guy, and he likes to throw parties. And when he throws a party, he throws a big party. We're talking parking lot in the front yard, valet parking, shuttle service, armed guards. To answer your question, they hear very loud, blaring music. They hear traffic, screeching tires, screeching cars. They hear, sometimes they report hearing arguments, you know, lots of talking. Interestingly, the way this property was developed, it sort of wraps around the property of one of the people I interviewed. And so this house, which is a very, very pretty house,
sure,
but it dominates his back view, and the pool is almost practically in his backyard.
Wow.
So he and his wife say their peace, their serenity is just shattered.
And you think about it, I mean, it's one thing if you're hearing someone off in the woods, right? But when you're so close, like you're describing, you really are hearing this anytime it's happening, and you can't escape it.
Right, right. And, you know, to your point, too, sometimes people have parties.
Sure.
And people have Christmas parties, people have New Year's parties, or any other time during the year. And, you know, normally neighbors work this out. They say, we're going to have a lot of people here. We're going to try to Uber. We're going to be noise, and we'll try to cut off. But this is going on a lot. It seems to happen on every major holiday and sometimes during the week, sometimes on weekends, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And, you know, one thing the neighbors complain about is how it's just rattling their nerves. They don't know when to expect this, when it's going to happen. And sometimes it just happens in the middle of the day because the neighbor's just playing loud music.
So it's interesting because it kind of brings up this idea of you buy a house for the peace and the tranquility it gets you, right? And you buy it for what it is. And then as things go on, new neighbors come in, things change, the house you bought or the idyllic kind of thing you were ascribing to changes. It's no longer the same thing. So what recourse do you have as a homeowner at that point? And as you're investigating this, how did you start this investigation? You know, I assume neighbors are complaining, they reach out to you. As an I-Team reporter, what are your next steps?
Well, they reached out to me saying that they've been dealing with the county on this for over a year. I mean, the parties have been going on for about a year and a half. I think the first major one was New Year's Eve or New Year's 2024. Now, the noise ordinance says that the noise has to be, cut off, I think, at 11 o'clock p.m. And can't resume until the next morning. One of the things we've discovered in this is that DeKalb's noise ordinance is a little bit weak here, or actually a lot weak. And one of the county commissioners says that there's things in the works as a result of this party house issue to try and strengthen that a little bit, set a decibel limit for during the day and then say at night, after 11, depending on what day of the night, day of the week it is, after 11, if a sound is audible within 100 feet of the source, that's prohibited. So that would give, police and code enforcement a little bit of something to work with, beyond just saying, hey, he can make the noise until 11 o'clock, there's nothing we can do. And that's what police reports show has been happening. But the big thing here, too, is that this isn't just a guy throwing parties. This isn't just some modern Jay Gatsby having these giant, Great Gatsby parties. He's also renting this property out for events and for gatherings.
Sure.
And some of the police reports show that, there's been like a music video shoot. There was some kind of a spiritual event, so-called, that prompted a noise complaint. And, so there's that happening too. And the county tells us that's prohibited. He cannot rent this place out as an event center in a residential area. In fact, we asked, does he have a business license? They said he can't get a business license for this. He's in a residential area.
Yeah.
So, that's the big problem here. And that's when, when the residents reach out to us, it's one thing if you say, okay, you've got a loud neighbor.
Sure.
But you've got a loud neighbor running a business, arguably, here
Yes.
in the middle of a residential area. And we were kind of like, how is that going on? And why are you not getting any relief from your county government?
And when you start to frame the question that way, right, it's like you look at, okay, legally, what can they do? All right, so, noise, right, sometimes can be a subjective thing. Maybe how do you prove that someone was yay loud? How do you prove that what's a disruption to one person may not be a disruption to another? But when you can show that, hey, you're not supposed to be running, arguably, as you said, what could be a business, as you're looking at this, do you feel as you're investigating and looking through this, do you find that the house is on any rental sites? Do you know that he's doing it through word of mouth? How's he managing to rent?
Well, I don't. He told me he looks at this like an Airbnb, and I don't think unincorporated DeKalb has any prohibition on Airbnbs or any regulations like some other municipalities do.
Right.
So what recourse can they take? They can call the police, which they've done. They can call code enforcement, which they've done. They wrote a letter to the county commission and code compliance, and I think 32 people from 18 different addresses signed it, saying that it's like we're living near a nightclub. Please help us. Something needs to be done. The law's not sufficient.
Right.
So
it's crazy to me that because of this situation, leaders in unincorporated DeKalb in the area are actually looking at updating the codes on noise because of this specific situation.
Right, that and the short-term rental ordinance, something that would deal with I guess that would affect Airbnbs and event rentals. But the county's telling us even under the current rules, he can't have a for-rent, for-profit or for-revenue event center. That just can't be done.
I think, some of these sites that people rent on, it kind of blurs the lines on like what is, because you think about an event venue space, right? It's very clearly an event venue. You have to have exit signs and things have to be up to code. But when it's your home that you're renting on these third-party sites or however you're managing to do it, a lot of ambiguity enters the picture. I mean, I come from New Orleans where Airbnbs are a huge problem, and not saying that that's the situation here, right, that he's on Airbnb, but in general, the idea of the short-term rental, residents get really fed up with that because they feel like they're losing the character of their neighborhoods.
Right.
And it sounds like that's a complaint that's being voiced here.
Right. Well, you know, the French Quarter in New Orleans is one thing. A quiet neighborhood in
Yeah.
unincorporated DeKalb is another thing.
Totally.
And you know, and that's what these Airbnbs have raised this party house issue, because a lot of them are rented as Airbnbs, and then we've seen this footage coming from around the metro area of these just wild parties.
Yes.
I mean, I saw one where there was a guy beating on a drum, like a band drum, and it just, you know, and those things are upsetting the surrounding neighbors.
Sure.
And you know, a big question, you know, maybe this has to do with ages and maturity levels and different lifestyles, but you know, most of us would kind of think twice about making that kind of racket after dark.
Yeah.
The same reason we don't talk during a movie or talk during a concert, just, you know, consideration of the people around you.
And I think, you know, time and place, right? Like, have a party, have a great time, but maybe have it in a space that you're not going to disturb anyone, or, you know, the effect to others might be minimal. So, Johnny, as you're going through a story like this, what's the biggest challenge to you in this investigation?
Well, the biggest challenge whenever you're dealing with DeKalb County is getting records and getting information. I mean, I've been covering DeKalb County for quite a while, and you know, it takes us. We're still waiting on some records from DeKalb County, the police and the county. You know, we finally were able to parse out, you know, what has he been cited for, where did those cases go, and you know, the answer is all the code violations got dismissed, except for one. But another challenge, you know, was well, it wasn't really a challenge, but we needed to talk to the other side. We, you know, as journalists, we have to get both sides, and we spoke to this homeowner, Brock Shorter. I found him to be a very polite, well-spoken, intelligent young man. He just has a very different point of view.
Yeah.
He thinks he's within the law. He thinks his neighbors are, I'm paraphrasing here, but he thinks they're being ridiculous, that they're exaggerating.
Probably a bunch of Karens.
Right.
Probably how he feels.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he feels like they're, you know, choreographing complaints, trying to make him look bad. He's, you know, the relations have broken down.
Yeah.
They used to talk and used to try to work it out, but he says now he just tells them to call the police.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually sent me cell phone videos demonstrating the decibel levels on the outskirts of his property, making the argument that it's not that loud. And you know, I'm a 51-year-old man, kind of thinking that is loud to me. That would irritate me.
Yeah.
You know, his point of view is, hey, I bought this place because I wanted to have these parties. I want to have my friends and family over.
Sure.
I'm entitled to rent this place out like an Airbnb. I'm not doing anything wrong. And you know, it's like you said, it is kind of subjective, but at the same time, you kind of know an annoyance when you see it.
Yeah.
And I think the new ordinance, if it goes through as this county commissioner has described it to me, you know, that would give a decibel limit, and you could actually measure it and say, okay, it's 65 or more. You know, one of the nearby homeowners, in fact, the guy right next door, Andre Jackson, he actually sent me a video where he had a decibel meter outside of his screen window, or inside his screen window rather, recording what came from outside. And it was hopping up a little above 70. You know, Brock Shorter disputed that. He doesn't think it's possible, but
sure. It is, I do feel nothing gets pettier or more heated than a good neighbor dispute. I mean, it is quite wild, the lengths that, just generally speaking, you will see neighbors go to when it's broken down to a point that we can no longer work together in a situation.
Right.
So what are your outstanding questions as we look ahead to this? Is there anything you want answered?
Well, time will tell on this, but Mr. Shorter says he is not going to have a Memorial Day party. Now, last year, Memorial Day had a party at his house, which was supposedly huge, as many of these parties are. And you know, we found a posting on Eventbrite showing that there was about to be what looked like a pretty big blowout. You know, and I was talking to him on the phone, because he would only do an interview on the phone. You know, I asked him, you know, about selling tickets to his parties, and he denied that he's doing that, that he's ever selling tickets to his own parties. And I started reading this ad to him, or this post. I said, what about this? It says, here's the prices. It says 48 for men. It says a price for parking, and here's a price for a table with 2 bottles. He was like, what is that? I don't know anything about that. He said, I didn't authorize that. And you know, as soon as I got off the phone, we noticed that post said canceled. So anyway, he's telling the county now that, you know, code compliance met with him this week, and he's telling them I'm not having a Memorial Day party. So the big question we'll see. That's the big question. Will there be a Memorial Day party, or even other parties in the future? Are they going to work this out? Is he going to you know, get the message that his neighbors are upset about this, and they're fed up. I mean, you know, they tried to deal with the county for a long time, and it got nowhere because of this, you know, just various issues with the bureaucracy.
Sure.
And then they came to us.
Right.
So, you know, that just, they're at their wits' end.
Yeah.
And I think that he understands that.
And you know, understanding that when policies are being made because of you, that's a kind of a different ball game.
Right.
Johnny, as we wrap up here, anything else you want to share that I didn't get a chance to ask you?
Not really. I think you covered it all very well.
Well, I look forward to the next chat that we have. As always, you guys, if you have questions or comments for the I-Team, how can they get in touch?
Well, if you want to tell us about a party house in your neighborhood or any other issue you'd like us to investigate, you can reach out to me personally at john.edwards, that's john.edwards@fox.com, or reach out to the I-Team as a group at iteamatlanta@fox.com. Tell us what your situation is, tell us what we should look into, how to get in touch with you, and we'll take a look.
Perfect. Johnny, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for streaming with us. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll have more news and weather for you after this. Well, welcome in. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thank you so much for streaming with me. It is great to have you here along with us. We have a lot of events to get to. We have Eli Jordan out at a dance party. We have Caitlin Pratt out in Piedmont Park giving us a look at what to expect ahead of Jazz Festival. I want to check in first with Caitlin Pratt because I know a lot of you who are headed out to this historic Atlanta event, a wonderful affair, Jazz Fest in Piedmont Park, probably wondering what the weather is going to do. So Caitlin, how is it looking right now?
Hey, Ariel, good afternoon to you. Yes, clear skies right now, a little bit of cloud cover, but a lot of people arriving here at Piedmont Park for the 48th Annual Jazz Festival with their umbrellas, their tarps in tow. That's because a lot of the field here is pretty messy from recent rains overnight. It's typical of how it gets during festival season, right? And you can see people are starting to arrive in the front lawn here, bringing their chairs, their tents, and the like. And I caught up with these fellas here, setting up. You do this year after year. Tell me why. What's going on?
We are with the Carrollton Douglasville Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I am our standing social committee chair. So we come out here for community outreach, organizational structure, and we promote a lot of things like our upcoming events, Black Tie Affair, white parties, health and wellness to the community, and come out and just enjoy the jazz like everyone else.
What is it about jazz and this Atlanta tradition that really brings everybody together?
Well, it's so awesome because, you know, jazz connects so many across the spectrum. It's so peaceful. The weather's always nice. It's just a family-filled, community event that we love to partake in like everyone else.
That's right, family. Speaking of family,
Say hey,
little
Juba.
guy.
Juba, say hey. Wade, say hello. Say hello, buddy.
Oh, yes, we love it. Who are you looking forward to most hearing today?
Jazz, right? I'm from a little bit of the younger generation, right? So I'm always open to all the performers, right? It's no one specifically we're looking for to perform. Just everybody. We're so excited to see all the performers.
Are you surprised the rain or the potential for rain isn't keeping anyone away?
No, we actually stayed overnight. They kept the tent here overnight. The Kappa tent survived. So we're going to withstand the rain and be here for the jazz.
Wonderful. Have such a good day. Thanks for talking with us. Yeah, for sure. And so, Ariel, you can see people. I'm going to step back here, give you a better look from the field, and you can see all these tents. Every year, this is the thing. Those tents allowed behind a certain point here at Piedmont Park, the prime real estate up there on the hill. If I have to, make a claim myself, I've been here several times, and that's always the place to be. Because beyond those tents, that's where a lot of the food trucks are. And of course, that's always a popular attraction here. Music set to begin at 1 o'clock here. The stage is set and they've waterproofed all the cameras, all the sound equipment, things like that. And the people I introduced you to earlier in the stream lining up already in front of the stage. They brought their tarps to put down on the ground because there was a lot of mud, and they have their special chairs that will screen them from the sun and also from any potential showers. So just a great annual event. Some of the people I've talked to say they've been doing this for years, and not just years, but decades. It has become part of the tradition that is Memorial Day weekend here in Atlanta. This is day 2. Yesterday, about 50,000 people showed up here, and you could barely see any grass at that point. By the end of this, about 200,000 people expected over this 3-day stretch. So we are here for it. I would recommend, Ariel, going ahead, wearing any boots, things like that. If you expected to be out here on the field, bring your rain jackets. And of course, be prepared to pay for parking. There is a lot that's right behind Park Tavern, which you see right here. Also a paid lot on the other side of Piedmont Park. Street parking, I would not count on that at all. So there you go. The name of the game here is being prepared. You see so many little wagons with all the supplies, all the things. People are ready for some jazz.
Kaylin, you're giving us the scoop, the inside baseball here of everything we need to know Jazz Fest wise. I definitely am going to come prepared because of your info. So if maybe there'll be a spot for me on the hill with my tent, who knows? Oh, well, Kaylin,
I'm going to put that into the universe for you. I'll save you a spot.
I love it. And if you're streaming along and watching, I'm sure Caitlin will put it into the universe for you too, because who doesn't want a coveted spot between the music and the food? Caitlin, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and bring it back here, you guys. Jazz Fest, a wonderful family tradition in Atlanta. Organizers say largest free jazz festival here in the country. How special to have it here. Music goes until 9 tonight, so head on out and enjoy it. Something you can enjoy as well, we're going to enjoy through Eli Jordan. He is at a sober dance party movement. It's like a coffee social. It's put on by Daybreaker, and I want to go out to Eli now. Eli, it looks like you're standing by and ready, and it doesn't seem too loud, so maybe you can hear me and give me an overview real quick.
Yes, Ariel, I can hear you. They are partying, they are dancing. Here at the supermarket in Ponce Highland, they're hosting the Daybreakers Coffee Club Social. It's a sober dance club. And before, go in there and kind of show you the scene what's happening, this supermarket's kind of a really cool place. So this is like one stage area. And then this is like a little green room right here. And then there's they have like a really cool, this is like, I guess, another dance floor here. And then you can come here for the sober dancing and get yourself a tangerine or an apple. And you can also come in here, and then this is where they had the coffee.
We have some coffee here. They're getting warmed up, and everything started at 10 a.m. this morning. And at about 11, they started cranking up the music. And it is a nice scene here. And I'll let you guys check it out.
So you guys, if you're watching along with this, you know, Eli is giving us this look at the Daybreaker party here in Ponce Highlands in Atlanta. And this is a sober dance movement. They focus on wellness, and they are throwing their next event in July 2025. Daybreaker hosts events like this in a lot of major cities throughout the United States. So we're talking Miami, Los Angeles. They've sold out multiple events. Today's event has over 200 people. DJ, drummers, as you can see some of the performers here. We have a lot of different instruments. People are just vibing out and having a good time. No alcohol required, no other substances needed. People just coming together to share in human connection. Have some coffee to start the day. They also did some grounding and activities in the beginning, some breath work, and just kind of sitting together and going through that. This started earlier today, like around 9 o'clock this morning or so. People started to come in, I think around 8 to get set up. And it goes until about 1 this afternoon, maybe a little past. But Daybreaker is throwing this, Daybreaker Coffee Club throws this event again next July. So if you wanted to get tickets, I'm going to go on their website real quick and tell you how much they cost in case you're interested. So according to their website, you can go to daybreaker.com and get all the information and understand what it would take if you're going to want to be a part of this next time. I'm looking through their website. You can also learn a little bit more about the event. But yeah, this happens, dance party's happening until 1 this afternoon. And this just brings people together. It looks like tickets cost about $34. And that's for the coffee social and the DJ set. And the tickets do range anywhere from about $30 to $45. So if you want to enjoy this again in July of this year, you can. They haven't set a date yet, but you can stay tuned to the website. We're going to let Eli continue to vibe and hang out there in Ponce Highlands. It looks like everyone's having a really great time. We'll stick with this and enjoy it for a couple seconds, and then we're going to bring you back here to studio. All right, let's bring it back over here to studio and maybe get a check of this afternoon weather forecast. So, Alex, looks like a pretty great time.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I think the if you have outdoor plans today, you're going to enjoy being outside for a period of time, and then at some point, you're probably going to enjoy being inside a little more.
Fair
because
enough.
the weather's going to be changing. All right, so this morning's rain is out of here, that's for sure. Saw some heavier downpours, especially when I was coming into work here at 2 something in the morning, 3 something in the morning.
I heard that. I went outside and I was like, wait, the ground is wet?
Exactly.
Look at this.
Well, and now all that rain's off into eastern
Okay.
Georgia, so not a concern for us so much anymore. Here is a look at Fox 5 Live Viper. You see back out towards the Augusta area, we're looking at some heavier showers right now. Only 2 lightning strikes in this whole view, so not really looking at much in the way of thunderstorms, but I think we will have the opportunity to see some through the day today. 82 going to be our high temperature hit and miss storms this afternoon. Temperature is pretty similar to yesterday, and we're going to hit that 82 mark somewhere between 4 and 7 p.m. as that chance of storms really begins to build back in. As I mentioned, temperature is pretty similar to yesterday. The rain chance today at about 40%. It will be higher tomorrow at 60%. Worth noting that that is Memorial Day, and then it's going to go even higher on Tuesday with a 70% chance of rain. So if you're looking over the course of the next 2 days, today's probably your day to get outside and enjoy it. If you're looking over the course of the next 3 days, today is probably still your day to get outside and enjoy it. And even then, it's not going to be completely dry today. Of course, we'll be watching Truist Park tonight, see what happens there. And I would be on the lookout for some showers and storms. But look, we had that opportunity yesterday as well. We didn't see anything. So, right, even though you've got rain chances and storm chances, that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to see something in those spots.
Good to know. I think as we were talking about a little bit earlier this morning, as we go through this period of spring, summer weather patterns, 40% chance of rain means it's 60% chance of it not raining. And
Yep.
it could be raining up near you and not raining near your neighbor down the street, and that's normal.
As we mentioned earlier, it could be bright and sunny over me at Truist Park later, and then pouring on Ariel over at the Jazz Festival.
If that's happening, guys, it's a conspiracy. It's a scam. Alex Forbes is at the center of it.
Yep.
You know, I just...
Hey, don't shoot the messenger.
You know, Alex loves his Braves games, and if the Braves start to have a suspicious sunny streak because of Alex's presence,
If a big umbrella opens up over Truist Park, I promise it's not me.
Can you imagine just a giant?
It's just like this arm curls on top.
Alex is like, yeah, I did this just for you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, Alex, I have another question to ask
Okay.
you real quick before we go, because we do have like probably 20 or so-ish seconds. Cooler weather going to stick around for a little bit longer, maybe, or not really?
Now, come on, we're getting into June.
I know.
We already know the answer to that question.
Crossed.
So, look, we're going to be about average through majority of the week. I would say headed into June, I would expect the temperatures to steadily rise, but I don't expect like a big heat wave to smack us upside the face as we start a new month.
Okay, good to know. Well, thank you so much.
Yep.
Guys, thank you for streaming with us. It is time to go ahead and hang out, and Casting Call is going to start in just a little bit. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and hope you do something to honor Memorial Day tomorrow. Enjoy.
Hey guys, welcome to Casting Call. I'm Judea Marie, and I'm joined by the incomparable Tess Hammond.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice.
Got you. If this is your first time streaming with us here on Fox Local, the purpose of this show is to make sure that you can get booked and you get busy. You
Get
stay
that
busy.